Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Awaken his sacred gear earlier and becomes the greatest Sekiryutei of all time Part 1 Season 1. Before we start, please go support Damowatling for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. Chapter 1 The Birth of the Red Dragon Emperor. Issei's POV. Red, yes, that is the only color I see before my eyes right now. My hands are stained with this painful shade. As of this moment it seemed like the only color I could see right now as I looked at the bodies that surrounded me. My parents motionless and dead right in front of me, and even now my heart cried out in agony as I asked myself this question: why? Why did this have to happen to my family? But really I knew the painful truth thanks to that woman's words. If you want to blame anyone, blame God for gifting you with your sacred gear. Know this, I cannot allow you to live high, to Issei, for you could be a huge threat to us. Before I could snap out of my fear and confusion, I was overcome by an excruciating pain as I felt a blade pierce my heart. All I could do was drop to the floor and join my parents in the afterlife. Or so I thought. After I was presumed dead for a while, I found myself being drawn to not a white light, but a powerful crimson light as I felt my consciousness begin to awaken. As soon as my eyes opened again, I saw a figure with crimson long hair. He wore unique clothing like body armor and a majestic cape which draped from his shoulders. All I heard from this person before he disappeared was this. "I do Issei, I have revived you as a stray devil after you were just now brutally murdered by what is known as a fallen angel. I did this because I see a great hope from you, and I could not allow you to die here today. I have placed 8 evil pieces inside you, but they won't activate until you meet the one destined to be your master, only they can activate them. Once they are activated, you will be absorbed into this devil's peerage, and you will fight for them as their servant. Get stronger and get revenge on those who robbed you of those who are important to you." After this stranger disappeared, I heard a sound just outside of my house, which was currently a full-on pile of rubble after it was destroyed by what I knew now to be a fallen angel. My feet would not budge. I still wondered if I was in a dream. Yes, a nightmare, that has to be it. However, my thoughts were interrupted when I saw a tall individual wearing a huge trench coat step into what was left of my home. "Oh, so it looks like Rainer couldn't kill you after all. No matter, I shall make this quick and painless. My name is Donasik. Remember it well because it is the name of the fallen angel who ended your life." The fallen angel took advantage of my frozen-like state, plunging a bright shining spear into my leg. My mind was going crazy from the extreme difference in pain. However, my body didn't feel a thing because of how numb I felt, still unable to comprehend this as reality. The fallen angel grinned at me and threw another spear through my other leg this time. Once again I detected the pain, but I felt nothing because one particular thought overrode everything else. I was going to kill this bastard. I maneuvered my shaking legs which struggled to move because of these peculiar spears that have pierced them, but my late reaction of rage was cancelling out my pain and enabled me to stand up. "Oh, you're a tough one, alright, maybe I'm not too late and you're not a devil just yet. After all, it would be impossible for you to be showing no signs of pain when holy light is like poison to them. I guess this time I'm just going to have to end you in one blow and strike you through the heart." I remained speechless, but my feelings echoed in my head. Power, I need power. If I had power, I could destroy this bastard and get out of here alive. I still remember that strange sensation I felt as an unknown voice entered my mind. "If it's power you seek, I can give it to you. All you have to do is make your feelings clear and I will respond to your will." I had no time to question who was communicating with me right now, as right after I heard those words, my left arm began to shine brightly in a jade light. I could feel the power running through my veins as I watched my arm make some kind of metamorphosis and decorate my arm with a crimson gauntlet. At first the shape was very simple, like a strange knuckle-duster. However, as soon as I unleashed my rage towards the fallen angel, it seemed as if my feelings were infused into my new accessory and it began to change again. Explosion. The chant came from my left arm which now began to glow even brighter as my gauntlet began to form. The gauntlet now covered most of my arm in its crimson glow, and now an emerald jade was embedded on the back of my hand. The sacred gear I possessed gained 2 golden spikes and was covered in some strange text that I had never seen before. I still remember the look of fear on the fallen angel's face as he too witnessed my gear's transformation. "It looks like we got our information wrong. It's not just a regular twice critical, it's the boosted gear, one of the 13 Longinus, the Red Dragon Emperor's gauntlet. I have to take you out now," he said, completely alarmed now, and he threw a light spear towards me. My body just moved on its own, my hand achieving what seemed to me moments ago impossible, deflected this dangerous spear and did my arm no effect whatsoever. "Damn, I have to retreat and tell Azazel," he said as he tried to retreat. Boost. All of a sudden, a huge rage came over me as I saw him try turn tail and flee. I closed the distance between us instantly as I grabbed onto his shoulder, turning him towards me. I didn't hesitate a second then. "You bastard, how dare you murder my parents." I drove a powerful punch right into his gut, causing him to lean forwards. Boost. "You fallen angel scum, I'll kill you," I said, driving another punch into his midsection, this time using my other hand instead. Boost. I felt the warm liquid drip from my fingertips as I delivered another powerful blow to the startled assassin as I drove my sacred gear into his face. "How? This can't be," he said to me as he crashed to his knees holding his stomach. Even after thinking about it now, I still don't know how I accomplished it, but my gauntlet began to glow in a crimson light. Boost, 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 boost. When I aimed another punch to the helpless killer, my fist unleashed some kind of blast, leaving nothing but black feathers in its place. The last thing I remember before passing out was pulling those holy weapons from my legs, and then I collapsed. And that's as far back as I remember. After I released those spears, I was instantly struck by an overwhelming agonizing pain which I easily ignored moments ago. But I realized after I observed my wounds that the entry points in which the spears created in my legs were now perfectly healed and only the blood that stained my hands was left on my skin. After I checked my surroundings, I noticed some kind of small bottle with the pattern of a huge bird on the empty container and some kind of weird note which had an unknown symbol to me on the paper. But it had writing I could read underneath it. "I was right about you after all, get stronger and seek out your master. Hi to Issei the Red Dragon Emperor. As I re-examined the note, I was puzzled after I put the note down that I didn't notice it before. My home, which lay in ruins moments ago, was completely fixed as if it was only a dream. Unfortunately, as much as I wished for it, this was not a dream. My parents were dead, lying on the ground in front of me, and if it wasn't for that uninvited guest, I would be laying there right alongside them. Part of me was angry that I was the only one who was able to survive. But this emotion soon became overrun by another more powerful sensation. And that was the powerful rage I felt towards the bastards who took them from me. As I buried them in the wake of the night, I promised them both as tears streamed from my eyes. I promised my dear mother and father that I would not waste this opportunity that fate gifted me with. I will use this power to assure that nobody else will suffer through the hardship of losing their family or even their own life to these unforgiving monsters. As I sat there in silence, I heard a voice coming from a small green circular light that was unaccompanied by the red gauntlet that was once there. "You certainly are an interesting one. So young and you already have such a strong compatibility and understanding of the boosted gear. Who are you?" I replied. "I am the dragon that is sealed within the sacred gear. Ddraig, one of the heavenly dragons. Cut down to size in my prime to form the gauntlet you used just now. What do you want?" "Relax, I'm going to be your partner from now on and follow you down your path." "Well then, let's continue to do our best in this new life you will be leading, partner. My name is Issei." "I understand. Hi to Issei. Still, I'm surprised you unlocked my power at such a young age and you weren't consumed by the power. You certainly will be an interesting one to watch grow into a true Red Dragon Emperor. Well, let's do our best to say, my partner." "Hey Ddraig. Are you saying that I can get stronger and make the woman who made my parents suffer like that pay?" "Of course, partner, you now hold the power to even surpass God if you use it wisely and learn how to control its full capacity. Then I will accept this power and master it so I can protect those who are victim to these winged beasts. I may be a devil now, but that doesn't mean that my goal has changed. I will protect the innocent and become stronger." "It's just as I thought. You are interesting. Well, do your best and I will do the same. Oh, one more thing, partner, that symbol on the parchment you got given was given to you by the demon lord Cices Lucifer. Not only that, that paper you hold in your hands will allow you to open up a communication link and speak with him for one time only. So if you have any questions you want to ask him, just make it obvious through your will. Well, we have a long life ahead of us, get some sleep, you'll need it after today," Ddraig said to me as I traveled to my brand new looking bedroom. I closed my mind and drifted off to sleep. That was 6 years ago when I was only 11 years old. And I am now a second-year student at Kuo Academy. But despite all of my efforts, I was unable to find the harlot who butchered my mother and father. But there is one thing for sure, when she does resurface, I will be ready to deliver my own justice upon her. Chapter 2, Introducing Rias Gremory. Rias POV. My name is Rias Gremory and I am a third-year student at Kuo Academy. Currently my name is well known throughout the school as I am labeled one of the top idols in the school. Because of this, day after day, I feel countless gazes upon me by numerous men as I walk through the hallway. All they do is stare at me. Perversely most of the time as they stare at my bulging chest. Little do they know, I have a secret life outside of my student one. That's right, I am the daughter of the famous devil family, the Gremorys. I am a high-class devil, which means I meet the necessary requirements to obtain a peerage. A group of servants who follow me and help make my dream a reality. And that dream is to become a successful king and triumph in every battle I face. I currently have used 4 of my available evil pieces. 1 knight, 1 rook, 1 bishop and my only queen piece. As a result, I only have 11 pieces left. Well, I should anyway. You see, when I first got my 15 other chess pieces, I was notified by my brother that I will not be able to use any of the 8 pawns I should have received, as he has already decided on how they will be used. Just what I needed, another part of my life already planned out for me. I already have had my marriage pre-arranged, and that didn't reward me with any happiness. So the fact my pawns have already been chosen for me slightly worried me. To be honest, one of my dreams is to find true happiness by truly falling in love with a man I have chosen, but to my disappointment, I have drawn a blank. No male I have met so far in all my life has even once made my heart skip a beat. So that dream may as well just another pipe dream that will never happen. After another exhausting day of school, I decided to go shopping due to no club activities had been scheduled today. I'm also club president of the Occult Research Club. We use this club to hide away from the outside world to use as our headquarters for our second life. Just as I finished withdrawing from my Japanese bank account provided by my father, some thug had the nerve to steal my school bag and began to escape. My eyes shifted to a crimson ruby shade as my anger began to boil to the surface. However, I quickly realized that I am currently in the human world in public, so I have to control myself and apprehend this crook with normal human abilities. I shouted after him to stop as I began to pursue him. With my enhanced body I would have easily caught him. But suddenly I stopped in my tracks due to what just happened. Just as the thief passed another human, the innocent bystander took the criminal down to the ground with a powerful roundhouse kick. The mugger hit the ground hard and was knocked unconscious as he hit the pavement. You scum, have you no shame? Stealing a school bag from a girl? Geez, you're a loser. The stranger then proceeded to pick up my bag and then started to make his way towards me. He stopped in front of me holding my bag and he was looking right at me. I thought to myself, oh, I get it, this guy saw me withdraw a large amount and is going to ask for a reward. Oh well, humans are all the same after all. Here you go, miss, I believe this is yours. He said, handing my bag to me without hesitation. I took my bag back and then I replied to him. Thank you. Well then, if you'll excuse me, the brown-haired boy said, bowing to me, and began to leave. Wait, aren't you going to ask for a reward or something? I asked, being very confused of his peculiar actions. What do you mean? I don't need a reward. Then why did you help me just now? Does a guy need a reason to help a beautiful girl in trouble? He replied to me, and for the first time in forever, I suddenly felt a warm sensation inside my chest, as if his words comforted me and embraced my heart. Well then, I will be taking my leave now. He began to leave again, but I couldn't just let him walk away empty-handed. But you could say I had an ulterior motive. Please wait, at least let me buy you a meal as a token of my appreciation. I would love to, but really I have an appointment I must keep. Then please at least tell me your name. Issei. Hi to Issei. He replied with a huge smile. My name is. I know, Rias Gremory, right? How could I not remember your name? He said to me and then left. I waved to the boy as he jogged down the high street, but whilst I did so, I reminisced what just happened. And I realized something now, my thoughts were all in order. That was not just a mere human, he was without a doubt a devil. I couldn't measure his power in time, but without a doubt he was definitely a devil. After I got my wits together, I contacted my rook through a phone call and asked her to do a favor for me. What is it, President? I need you to tail someone for me and find out everything about him. Can you do that for me, Kaneko? Yes, of course, President. What's the name of the guy I'm following? His name is Haidu Issei. I think I may just have found another perfect candidate for my remaining knight piece. Please inform the others to join me in the clubroom tomorrow after school, so we may discuss this. I said, ending the phone call, and now made my way home. Issei's POV. I ended yet another tiring day at school, being pestered by 2 particular individuals today. Their names were Mitsuda and Motohama. Quite well-known individual for their perverted actions like peeking at girls changing and speaking of their treasured possessions out loud. They kept trying to coerce to join their adventures, but at this moment in time, my mind is preoccupied with other issues. As I escaped the school grounds, I began patrolling the high street. But then just as I began to window shop, I saw something truly beautiful before my eyes. Her beautiful crimson hair. Those sparkling deep blue eyes and that smile that would melt away anyone's bitterness. I knew full well who she was. After all, she is the little sister of the man who saved my life. The little sister of Serzich's Lucifer, Rias Gremory. A magnificent pretty flower which my eyes gazed upon. I was brought back to my surroundings as soon as I saw her shout towards a man who held her school bag in his hands. I was ticked off by this moron who decided to do such a pathetic crime. And as soon as he began to get closer, I took him down to the ground, greatly reducing my strength in order to not kill him. After I returned the bag to her, she invited me for a meal, and I would have more than anything enjoyed spending some time with her. But I had to prepare for tomorrow's mission to track down another fallen angel. The next day after school I received intel from my inner dragon Ddraig, who lived inside the sacred gear that he had tracked down the fallen angel in the area. After following Draig's directions, I discovered a rundown factory, and then the readings grew stronger. No doubt about it, partner, there is definitely a fallen angel inside there. I entered inside but noticed that he was communicating with another fallen angel over the phone, so I decided to eavesdrop on their conversation. Yes, the Gremory family isn't getting involved. I see, so Lady Raynor has arrived in Japan. I understand, I will see to it her every need is met. Okay then, goodbye. I see you're done with your phone call, fallen angel. I said, revealing myself from the shadows. Hey, who do you think you are? This is fallen angel territory as of this minute. So you think you can just waltz into the human world and take over Japan? It's just as I suspected, some of you just piss me off. Oh yeah? You don't know who you are messing with, you weak lower class punk. I am feared by all in this realm and the heavens above. I am one of the most powerful fallen angels, Osamu Toshio, and if you don't leave in 5 seconds, I'm going to break you into so many pieces your master won't be able to put you back together again. Boosted gear. Boost. I won't allow you to harm any innocent people, fallen angel, we're doing it now, Ddraig. Here goes. Okay, partner, but remember, with your current abilities, you can only handle 5 minutes. I know that should be plenty of time. Blow over boost. Welsh dragon over booster. The wall of fire surrounded me as my sacred gear began to transform my body. After the flames had died down, I now stood strong, standing tall in my powerful dragon armor. This is the power of the Red Dragon Emperor Balance Breaker Boosted Gear Scale Mail. No way, that's impossible, the forbidden move. I must retreat. You won't escape, I said as I formed a great amount of magic power in between my hands, concentrating it all into a huge orb, launching it right towards Osamu. A great proportion of crimson light exploded throughout the windows of the rundown factory, and after the light faded, all that was left to reveal there was another in here besides me in this factory was the black feathers which now were spread all over the floor. It was after I regained my senses that I noticed a huge hole in the wall. Oops, looks like I didn't hold back enough this time. Just as I began to create my wings to fly from the site, I heard a familiar voice behind me. You there, what do you think you're doing? Chapter 3, The Rampaging Stray Devil. The next day, Rias had gathered her servants all in the clubroom where they began to discuss their daily tasks such as contracts and job offers. I see, so you got another contract. Excellent job, Udo, please continue to impress your president. Rias said, picking up the next document on the pile. Udo is Rias Gremory's knight. He is a second year at Kuo Academy, known as the class's prince, who specializes in speed and fights with a sword. He has blonde hair and has the personality of a true knight, displaying grace and magnificent swordsmanship. Thank you, President, and of course that goes without saying. By the way, President, is it true that you have found another candidate to be a knight for you like myself? Udo said, making Rias smile. Yes, that is right. Kaneko, do you have any information to report? Rias said, looking towards the small girl with silver hair. Kaneko is Rias Gremory's rook. She is a first-year student at Kuo Academy, who is known as the school's mascot for her small figure and cute appearance. She specializes in both offense and defensive. Yes, President, I have it right here. Issei Awaken. Second year at Kuo Academy. Grades average, physicality outstanding. Doesn't stand out too much, but catches the attention of fellow classmates. He's 17 years old and his address is unknown. You did well, Rias said as she became lost in thought. Catches the attention of classmates, eh? May have to keep my eyes on that. So President Rias, do you plan to recruit Hayadu Issei into your peerage? Akeno said, bringing Rias back to reality. Akeno Himejima is Rias Gremory's queen. She is also a third-year student at Kuo Academy. Akeno specializes in magic and is nicknamed the Priestess of Thunder. Akeno is also like Rias in the sense she is also idealized by the entire school. Yes, I think I'm a Akeno. Kaneko, any information on his sacred gear? Rias asked, causing Kaneko to shake her head. I was unable to uncover that mystery. It's possible he hasn't unlocked it yet or just has had no need to show it. I see, well, please continue to survey him for me. I understand, President. All of a sudden, a magic circle appeared next to Rias' ear. Good day to you, Rias. Good day to you, Sona. Sona Citri, alias Sauna Shitori, third-year student at Kuo Academy and student council president. Daughter of the famous devil clan the Citris and heiress to the clan. She is also Rias' childhood friend and rival. And she is the third most popular girl at the academy behind Rias and Akeno. I thought I would bring it to your attention that a stray devil has been sighted at a rundown factory in the city. Please investigate this and report your findings. I understand, I will travel there now. Everyone gather in the center of the room, we are going to teleport now. Rias said, creating a huge magic circle with the Gremory family symbol at the center, and in a flash, all of her servants along with her vanished. The magic circle reappeared just on the outskirts of the factory. All of a sudden, a huge explosion echoed throughout the atmosphere as the factory sustained damage and a huge gaping hole, along with a blinding crimson light appearing in the building. Everyone, let's investigate now. Yes, President, they all said, following quickly behind the ruined princess. Rias Gremory reached the entrance of the building and immediately stopped once she felt the intense demonic power coming from a certain individual. The heir to the Gremory household now stared at a towering mysterious stray devil equipped in fascinating red armor. You there, what do you think you're doing? Rias said, aiming to communicate with the devil. Where is your master? She said, not getting a response from the quiet demon. In an instant, Rias and the rest of her peerage retreated backwards once the huge power from the wings of the armored devil were unleashed, creating a massive shockwave as they lifted the demon into the air, enabling his escape. Who on earth was that? Rias said, never seeing anybody with that appearance before. President Rias, over here. Yudo said, beckoning over Rias to where he was pointing. Oh my, looks like our devil friend was doing some house cleaning. Akeno said with a slight giggle, her sadist side kicking in. It certainly seems that way. Rias said, staring at all the black feathers that lay there. They certainly left us quite the mess to clean up. Akeno said, sweeping up the feathers with a nearby broom. President, what do you make of this? Yudo said, now also looking at the damage done. They certainly weren't a mere low-class devil for them to single-handedly not only defeat a fallen angel, but to completely destroy one. However, I don't think we have anything to fear. I heard of a decrease in fallen angels in Japan recently, so it seems like they are his or hers only target. Still, look at this, it looks like your handiwork, Rias, Akeno said, referring to the fact that not even bones were left in the building. Yes, one thing is for certain about that devil, he is a power type. I will speak with Sona and find more information about this mysterious devil. Just as Rias was about to give the order to retreat, Rias received yet another call. Hello? Rias said, speaking into the communication circle. Rias, I have just received word for you from the fallen angels. A letter has just arrived at the school with a time and meeting place for you to meet them and discuss the recent decline in their numbers. Thank you, Sona, I will see to it that I sort this mess out. Rias said, ending the call. After reading the letter at the clubhouse, Rias Gremory arrived at the church the next day. Rias waited outside the entrance courtyard when she was then greeted by the sender of the letter. Good evening, Rias Gremory, I'm so delighted that you could meet with me. Rias turned around and saw a woman with long straight black hair and eyes the color of amethyst. She wore black leather underwear and had her dark wings opened wide. What is the meaning of this, Rainer? Why are the fallen angels attempting to disturb the peace in Japan? Oh really, I was going to ask you the same question. Some of my subordinates have been going missing whilst they were on the job, and I guessed you were the one responsible, Miss Gremory. Rainer replied. None of my household is responsible for this. I demand to know what you are after. Rias said, making Rainer grin. All of this is for the great Azazel. We are working towards his will, and we are going to take out all of those who pose a threat to us. I see, looks like I've finally found you, fallen angel. Rias and Rainer looked behind them as soon as they sensed another devil enter through the barrier. Rainer, I will make you pay. The mysterious voice said, walking in front of Rias now. Boosted gear. Issei. Rias said, seeing the man who helped her before right in front of her eyes. Chapter 4, The Red Dragon Emperor. Issei's POV. My nerves shook and a pain shot through my head as I kneeled down in a forbidden territory, because no matter how much pain it causes me, I always come visit them. I stood up, placing the flowers I had bought on each of their graves, saying my prayers to my parents once again. All of a sudden, I felt a huge chill down my spine which felt very nostalgic. I ran as fast as my feet could carry me towards that frightening aura. Until I reached an invisible barrier. I didn't hesitate, if my suspicions were correct, I have finally found my parents' murderer. I walked inside, a sudden rush of anger appearing as I saw her demonic grin. It was then I lost all of my senses and my body was running automatically. Normal POV. Rias Gremory stared in amazement at Issei's arm, not admiring his muscular biceps, but the gauntlet that suddenly appeared on his arm. No way, that is one of the 13 Longinus gears, the boosted gear, the gauntlet of the Red Dragon Emperor, Rias said, suddenly overwhelmed by Issei's sacred gear. Issei? What are you doing? Rias said, trying to talk to him. Please Rias, stay back, I need to finish this. Issei muttered, walking towards the fallen angel. Rainer, I finally found you, Issei said, his sacred gear now glowing green. Huh? Who are you? How do you know my name? Rainer said, taking a while to register the situation. Suddenly she burst out laughing. No, don't tell me it's you, the boy whose parents I murdered. No way you're still alive. Rainer said, exploding in laughter. Yes, that's right. I was revived as a devil, and now I'm standing here again. Haha, this is too great. I still remember when your parents begged me to let you live. Shut up. Please don't hurt my son, he's just a boy. Shut up, Issei replied, shaking in fury now. And then I killed them right in front of your eyes, killing their precious child afterwards. And now I think about it, I should have let them watch you die. Haha, that would have been just fantastic, watching them wallow in despair as I killed you. Rainer said. Shut up, Issei shouted as sacred gear surrounding him in a beam of jade light now. Dragon booster sacred evolution, Ddraig shouted, causing the gauntlet to take on a new form. The gauntlet became sharper, now it had 10 spikes and now had another emerald on it. It changed. Rias said, still shocked with Issei's hidden power. What the? That's impossible. This can't be real, Rainer said, launching a light spear at Issei. Issei remained still and grabbed the holy spear with his gauntlet, crushing the poisonous projectile into pieces. No, Rainer said, attempting to run away. Issei dashed after Rainer, getting in front of her and delivered a powerful punch to her midsection. Rainer screamed in pain, trying to punch Issei. Issei dodged her punch and landed a roundhouse kick to her chest. Rainer screamed in pain again and this time collapsed to her knees. Issei stood in front of her, concentrating the magic power into his gauntlet. Boost, 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 boost. Wait please, I didn't mean to kill your parents, I was just scared of my boss, he would have killed me if I didn't. Rainer said, begging for her life to be spared. Just how pathetic can you act? How far will you go? Have you no pride? Issei said, looking towards the fallen angel who altered her appearance to look like an innocent high school girl with tears in her eyes. This is for my parents. Dragon shot, Issei shouted, forming a fist and punching all of his magic power right towards her. Rainer screamed as she was consumed by Issei's powerful blast. After the light show faded, a pile of black feathers was all that remained. Issei deactivated his sacred gear, collapsing to his knees, looking at the floor. Issei, are you okay? Rias said, rushing to his side. Mother, father. I've finally avenged you. I promised I wouldn't cry until I became strong enough to avenge you. So is it okay if I cry now? Issei said, a river of tears staining his cheeks as the rain now came crashing down on him. Issei roared like a dragon as the tears continued to fall. Rias could not watch this anymore, feeling Issei's pain inside of him. The Crimson Princess knelt down to the ground in front of Issei and placed her arms around his back and pulled him close to her chest. Issei wrapped his own arms around her waist, unable to stop the tears as he rested his head into her comfortable chest. Rias cradled his head and she too couldn't help but leak a few tears as the Red Dragon Emperor cried his heart out. A few moments later, Issei pulled himself together and spoke up. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. Issei said, feeling guilty of embracing the Demon Lord's little sister. It's okay, you've been through enough already. Just let it all out, I'll look after you. Rias said, making him look up at her. It's just as I thought. You truly are a kind and caring woman. Issei said to her, making the Crimson Princess blush. All of a sudden, Ria's chest started to get really hot and Issei seemed to resonate with her. I need you, Issei. Please accept me as your master and become my servant. Rias said, taking out her knight chess piece. I knew from the moment I met you, Rias, I would definitely not be anyone else's servant. You are my only master, Rias Gremory. Issei said, ready to accept Rias. Rias placed the knight piece near Issei. However, the piece had no reaction when it went near Issei. What's happening? I don't understand. It's always worked before. Rias said, putting the piece back in her pocket. No, Rias, I can't accept any other piece you have. I am your pawn. Issei said, making Rias shocked. What do you mean? Rias said, very confused. Forgive me for not saying before, but I was chosen by your big brother Serzich's Lucifer to be your pawn. Issei said, making Rias finally realize. So my brother gave you a pawn chess piece. Rias said, now happy that one of the pawns selected was somebody she herself wanted for her peerage. One? No, I think you're misunderstanding something here, Rias. Your brother had to use 8 pieces to revive me as a demon. Issei said, making Rias step back. No way, so you're telling me that when my brother said that he was going to decide what to do with my pawn pieces, he meant that he gave every single piece to you? Rias said, both surprised and happy that she wouldn't have to worry about 7 strangers being chosen for her peerage. That's right. I've waited 6 years to meet my master. And I couldn't be more honored for you to be chosen as my master. Please activate my evil pieces and make me your servant, Issei said, bowing down to her. I understand. I, Rias Gremory, command by my name. To the Issei Haidu. To allow thy soul to descend to this earth once more. To become my demon slave. As your new master, I grant you with a new life, Rias said, chanting the final spell. Issei felt a warm sensation in his chest as the white pawn pieces transformed to a crimson shade. Issei suddenly felt a surge of power build up inside him. He felt stronger and now officially was ready to start his new life as a devil. Now his parents had been avenged. Now let's go, my servant. Rias said to Issei. Yes sorry I mean President Issei said falling straight into her chest afterwards. Geez you're aggressive aren't you? Rias said feeling Issei hit her breasts. It wasn't until after she said that she realized Issei was asleep. Welcome to the Gremory household Issei. Please serve my peerage well. Rias said embracing his head into her chest. Well then we best get out of the rain. But I don't know where you live. Rias said to the sleeping dragon-wielding devil. All of a sudden, a green circle appeared on Issei's hand and began to speak. Rias Gremory, do not be alarmed I am Haidu Issei's partner. I am the red heavenly dragon Ddraig. Please take my partner home to get some rest. Ddraig said to Rias telling his address to her. I understand, leave Issei to me. Rias said activating a magic circle enveloping her and Issei in a crimson light, making them completely vanish. Chapter 5 Introducing Haidu Issei Welcome to the Gremories. Huh? You say you don't want to marry me and want to find true love. Don't screw with me whether you like it or not, you are the heir to the Gremory clan cursed to live by that title, nobody could ever truly fall in love with you for yourself. You should be honored that you have the honor of being married to the heir of the Phoenix clan, a gold-haired devil said causing Rias to wake up instantly. Rias panted heavily calming herself down from that awful image that interrupted her sleep. Rias felt the sweat drop down from her forehead all the way down to her breasts, given the fact the only way she could sleep comfortably is when she is in the nude. Rias came to her sense and realized that she wasn't in fact in the Phoenix household, but she was definitely not home right now. Rias placed her hand on the bed she is currently sitting on and then felt something other than the mattress her body was just sleeping on. Rias let out a sigh of relief once she discovered what she was touching. Rias looked next to her and stared at the peaceful devil sleeping beside her. That's right, I took Issei home and decided to heal him, so I did skin-to-skin contact with him and then before I knew it I fell asleep. Rias said now staring at him. I didn't notice it before, but Kaneko was definitely right with her findings. Issei definitely has an outstanding physique. Rias said as she traced her fingers starting from his well-built chest all the way down to his well-toned abs. Rias suddenly remembered her nightmare and without thinking, wrapped her arms around Issei pulling his arm into her boobs to offer herself security that this was reality right now. As soon as Rias began to embrace Issei, she suddenly felt a huge sensation of warmth and comfort. It's so warm. Oh no, at this rate I may get addicted to this and make you my personal body pillow Issei. Still it's surprising, I don't know what these feelings are, but I definitely know I have never felt this way before. I wonder if my big brother knew that you would make me feel this way and that's why he gave you to me. Well it doesn't matter to me I'm just glad you're here right now to help me get rid of the nightmare. Rias said slowly closing her eyes and embracing him as she fell into a deep sleep. Rias' sleep wasn't interrupted again that night. She slept peacefully and didn't experience any more discomfort. Slowly rising from her sleep, Rias stretched her arms up over her head and then looked to her side. Issei was no longer there. Rias started to panic thinking he left her for good, but her panic subsided when she heard him coming up the stairs. Hey good morning President. Did you sleep well? Issei asked looking directly at Rias making her heart beat a little faster. Yeah I'm sorry for how I'm dressed I was just. You were healing me whilst I slept right. But how did you know? Rias began to say, but she suddenly stopped when Issei smiled at her. I felt it whilst I slept. I felt your warmth President Rias, even though I wasn't conscious I could feel you right beside me. Issei said to the crimson-haired girl making a blush appear on her face. Anyway you should get dressed I've prepared breakfast. Issei said causing Rias to nod and begin to dress herself. Hey Issei could you hook my bra for me? Rias said in an excuse to make him come close. Sure I can do that. Issei said coming closer to her. So it's true what Kaneko told me, you do live alone after all. Rias said making Issei surprised. Yeah, it's true. My parents were murdered by the fallen angel Rainer and ever since, I've lived alone hunting them down until I found her again. Issei said quietly as he helped his master dress. There has been something on my mind since I found out you were my pawn Issei. How do you know my brother? Rias questioned resulting with Issei responding almost instantly. Your brother Lord Cices saved my life. He revived me as a devil and then almost right after that I confronted another fallen angel who tried to kill me again. I was so absorbed by my reality that I didn't feel any damage to my body as he tried to kill me. No I only felt the sudden urge to kill him and to do that I needed power and that's when I unlocked the power of the boosted gear. I was absorbed in rage but I managed to control the power. I couldn't stop my punches until I somehow vaporized him with my sacred gear. After that I decided that I would get stronger and master my power both as a devil and my sacred gear's power. I contacted your brother and he took me in and trained me for 3 years along with another teacher he handpicked for me until I was 14. My other teacher taught me how to use my sacred gear and how to harness its full power. So to sum it up Rias, your brother saved my life and then gave me to you. I promise to do my best for you master and become the strongest pawn, Issei said being interrupted by Rias who suddenly hugged him. President. You've been through so much Issei. But don't worry, I will protect you and make sure you no longer suffer with sadness. I promise as your master to make your life full of happiness and new joyful memories. And I promise you President that I won't let your dreams stay as dreams, I will fulfill them and make you to achieve true happiness. Now let's get downstairs, breakfast is ready. Issei said patting her on the head and leaving the room. Rias felt her head and started blushing again as her chest felt very warm again. After Rias and Issei finished a well-made breakfast, they decided to make their way to school together, all eyes stared at them as they walked through the school gates. Issei mostly had cursing stares and jealous rage that he was walking to school with the academy's most beautiful student. Whereas Rias had many girls staring at her admiring her, but some actually felt slightly jealous that she was with Issei. The fact is that most girls liked Issei both for his looks, his manners and his mystery, as he refused to open up or make friends with anyone. Issei, you bastard, how dare you be the one who can walk with Rias, it's not fair, just die, a male student with glasses said aiming an apple at him. Issei reacted instantly, placing his hand around Rias Gremory's waist as he moved her out of the way of the incoming projectile and smashed it with his other hand. President, look out. Rias blushed, feeling Issei's manly grip placed gently on her hip and also at his, even though it was minuscule heroic act. President, are you hurt? No, I'm okay. Rias said back, barely feeling very hot on her forehead all of a sudden as she was instantly taken by surprise of his actions. I see, that's great. Issei said, letting go of her now. Issei is so manly, one girl said, overcome by Issei's sudden actions. It's no fair, Prince Issei, please protect me as well. That's right, hold me just like you did with big sister Rias. Rias suddenly felt annoyed at the girls who tried to swoon her servant, so she took his hand immediately. Let's go Issei, we'll be late for class, Rias said, slightly panicking after grabbing his hand suddenly as they rushed into the school building away from all the noise. Once they arrived inside, Rias let go of Issei's hand, regained her composure. I have to get to class now, but don't worry, I will send someone to come collect you later after school so I can introduce you to everyone else. Rias said, now back to her composed and calm self. Okay President, I understand. Then I will be off President, I look forward to seeing you later. President. Issei suddenly stopped, seeing Rias' face was blushing again. President, are you okay? Your face is very red. It's nothing, then I will see you later in the occult research clubroom. Don't go home, Rias said, running off in a rush. Whilst Issei wandered into the classroom, Rias was struggling to calm down her heartbeat after all of the incidents that happened this morning. After a whole day of harassment from the perverted duo, the final school bell sounded. Issei began to gather his belongings when an uproar happened in the classroom. Look who it is, it's third-year student Akeno. Wow, she's so hexy, the first of the perverted duo said, staring at her boobs. Boobs, hooray, the second of the duo said, staring at the beautiful girl with an elegant black long tail. You must be Haidu, Issei. Akeno said, approaching the Sekiryutei's desk. Yes, that's me, Issei replied, suddenly feeling a familiar aura. Nice to meet you, I'm Akeno Himejima, the vice president of the Occult Research Club. The president has instructed me to pick you up. Akeno said, setting the class in an uproar again. Damn you, Issei. Issei again. Why do all the girls go for him? Another male student said, unable to control their jealousy. Issei followed Akeno out of the classroom and he was reading her aura as they walked along. Akeno felt a sudden chill down her spine as soon as she detected, even though it was slight, a thirst for blood behind her. Just as they reached the grounds of the occult research house, Issei broke the silence, alerting Akeno. Vice President, I know what you really are. Issei said, making Akeno nervous. Vice President, you're really half fallen angel, aren't you? Issei said, making Akeno look at him in fear. After a few seconds, Akeno finally spoke up. Yeah, that's right. And Rias told me all about it. Hi, do you hate fallen angels, don't you? Akeno said, shaking in fear. Yeah, that's right. It was fallen angels that took my parents from me. And they also ended my humanity. Issei said, making Akeno start to cry, knowing her identity was discovered and she was going to be hunted again. But, I don't hate you, Miss Akeno, I know all about you, Vice President. You're just like me in a way. Your mother was murdered by rogue fallen angels that were targeting your dad. And it was because of that you refused to use the fallen angel magical power that you have deep inside you. The reason I know about this is because I killed the fallen angels who the assassins had on standby that were planning to ambush you in Barakwil. Issei said, making Akeno silent and giving him her complete attention. It's true that some fallen angels make me very angry and makes me want to kill them, but don't worry, I don't hate you, Miss Akeno. I can see just by looking at you and the life you have led that you truly are a good person and someone who I would be happy to work with and lay my life down to protect you as my comrade. Issei said, casting the finishing blow to Akeno. Oh my, if you keep saying stuff like that to me, I don't know what I will do with myself. I can see why Rias so desperately wanted you. Akeno said, wiping away her tears and finally pulling herself together again to represent as Issei's senior classmate. Now let's go, everyone else is waiting. Akeno said, trying to speak over her rapidly beating heart. Issei and Akeno made it inside, opening the double tall wooden doors. Ah, Issei, it looks like you made it. Rias said, sitting at her desk, making her position as king very clear. Yes, sorry for the delay, there were difficulties in my classroom. Issei said, scratching his hair. That's okay, you're here now, so how about you introduce yourself? Rias said to Issei, making him smile. Of course. Nice to meet you everyone, my name is Issei Awaken. I have been honored to be selected as Rias Gremory's one and only pawn, as all 8 of her evil pieces are inside of me. I hope to get along with all of you. Issei said, bowing after making his introduction. The golden-haired sword wielder was the first to interact with the newbie servant. Nice to meet you, Awaken. I am Rias Gremory's knight, Yudo Kiba. Yudo said, offering out his hand to shake. Nice to meet you, Kiba, but please call me Issei. Issei said, accepting Kiba's handshake. I understand, Issei. Not bad, you have a strong grip. I guess I can feel confident whilst having you watch my back. I feel the same way, your sword skills in battle be very reassuring. Issei said, sticking his thumb up and smiling. The next to approach Issei was the small girl who was quietly snacking earlier. I am Kaneko Taoju, Rias Gremory's rook. Nice to meet you, Mr. Issei, Kaneko muttered. Yes, nice to meet you to Kaneko, I can feel it just by looking at you, you're really strong. And please, just Issei is fine. Issei replied, a bit embarrassed. Ara, don't forget me. Once again, my name is Akeno Himejima, I am Rias queen. Please be sure to protect me, to Issei. Akeno said, getting especially close to Issei as she pressed her chest up against his back. Akeno, you're too close. Rias said, unable to hide her obvious jealousy. My apologies, President, I was just being friendly. After all, I am his senior. Akeno said, making Rias slightly irritated, but this only makes Akeno giggle as she enjoys teasing Rias. And I am the king, please everyone get along with our newest member and continue you to help me in my goal. Rias said, resulting with everyone altogether saying. Yes, President. Now that's been taken care of, let's celebrate the Gremory family gaining another servant, Akeno said, bringing out a well-decorated cake. After the party was over, Issei made his way with a smile on his face, whilst Rias returned home trying to sleep, but to no avail. Just as Issei was on his way home, Issei's enhanced hearing picked up on a distress signal. Issei took off like a bullet, using his senses to track down the disturbance. You shitty nun, I told you, now that your master has disappeared, you now belong to me. Now I'm going to make you entertain me, the white-haired creep said, tearing at the innocent girl's clothing. Please forgive me, Father Fried, I didn't mean to anger you. The nun said, full-on frightened now as the father withdrew weaponry. Then if you really want me to forgive you, take off your clothes and let me enjoy myself. The man said, rubbing the gun he held against her panties. All the nun could do was cry, cowering in fear as the priest raised his light sword, bringing it down on her. All of a sudden, a huge sound of metal hitting metal resounded in the alleyway. Boy, what do you think you're doing to this woman? Issei said, blocking Fried's sword with his gauntlet. Oh, it's my lucky day, it's a shitty devil, die shitty devil boy, Fried said, firing his pistol. Issei dodged the bullets, grabbing the blonde nun in a princess carry, placing her down on the soft grass to safety. Don't be scared, I will protect you. Issei said, making the girl cry. Wow, you're pretty quick for a shitty devil, but let's see how you deal with my blade, Fried said, trying to slice Issei. Issei dodged, easily evaded against strike after strike, being able to read the corrupt priest's movements. Is that all you got? Issei said, punching the swordsman full force in the stomach, resulting with the mere human coughing out blood. Haha, this is not good, I will have to gain more power. Bye bye shitty devil boy, Fried said, vaulting onto the top of the building and escaping into the night. Little did Fried know, Issei could have easily followed the exorcist and finished him off. However, Issei felt there was a much more important matter to settle. Issei walked towards the panicked nun and knelt down in front of her. Are you okay, miss? Can you stand? Issei said, the nun nodding in response. The girl covered her top half up, her hood falling down to reveal her beautiful golden hair and emerald eyes as she looked at Issei. Issei noticed the girl's embarrassed expression and removed his shirt, draping it over her shoulders. Thank you very much. The nun said, finally building up the courage to speak. You're very welcome. What's your name? My name is Issei Awaken. As Asia Argento. The nun said, finally being able to speak properly. Asia, right. Well, nice to meet you, Asia. Issei said, smiling towards her. Say, Asia, do you live around here? Issei asked because of her current predicament. No, I don't really have a place to call home other than the church. Asia said, obvious to Issei, looking depressed. Well, I can't leave you like this, I got it, would you like to come to my house to get out of the cold? I promise that I won't hurt you. Issei said, trying to comfort her. I don't want to cause trouble or be a burden to you, Hayato-san. Asia replied, feeling guilty. Don't be silly, you're not a burden, I want to help you. In fact, please let me help you. Issei said, offering her his hand. Thank you, Hayato-san, you seem like a man God sent to help me himself. Oh Lord, thank you for granting me with a hero to break my imprisonment, amen, Asia said, giving Issei a headache. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were a devil. But even if you are a devil, Hayato-san is a good person. Asia replied with a smile. Please call me Issei, Asia. Now let's go, you don't want to be dressed like that all day. Issei said, offering a piggyback for her because of her traumatic experience she just went through. Okay, Issei-san. Asia said, climbing onto his back, closing her eyes as Issei walked towards his home with a distraught nun on his back. Meanwhile, in a house quite a distance away from Issei's home, an agitated princess tossed and turned under the restricting covers until she kicked them off, completely revealing her nude figure. I can't sleep at all. Why is it so different when you're by my side, Issei? Rias said, holding her hand against her aching heart which hungered for his warmth. Chapter 6, Issei Argento. Asia POV. My name is Issei Argento, and I am a holy sister of the church. When I was just a baby, my mother abandoned me, and I was raised by the kind people of the church I was left at. Ever since then, I learned the ways of the church and the teachings of God. One day a wounded puppy walked into the church and was close to death. I prayed day and night for that puppy to be saved by God, and it was then my power of prayer awakened. Seeing it as a blessing from God, I decided to use this gift on anyone I should encounter. However, my days at the church were over after that day. I came across a wounded man who I later found out was a devil. I was banished from the church and labeled as a witch for healing a devil, but to this day, I don't regret what I did, nor do I hate that devil I healed. After I was placed in exile, I was put in the possession of the fallen angels, and my life was governed and monitored by the fallen angel Rainer. She didn't treat me poorly, but one day my life changed. After I completed my morning prayer to God, I was notified by Father Fried that Rainer was killed by a devil, and I was to be put in his care. Father Fried didn't seem like a bad person at first as we carried on our regular duty for the Lord. But after the death of Rainer came to his attention, he transformed into a savage beast. We were just on our way back from our latest job, and the sun had finally set. When we approached an alleyway, Father Fried changed and started to treat me very roughly, muttering, "How ironic it would be for a priest to taint a holy sister." Before I saw it coming, I was pinned to the wall, and he started caressing his hands above my body, and I felt terrified as he did so. I cried out for help, and that's when he showed up. His gentle and caring smile as he said to me these words, "Don't worry, I will protect you." Those words alone possessed the power to set my heart at ease, and I knew from the look on his face, I could rely on him to keep me safe. That man's name is Hayato Issei, who saved me from being defiled and even granted me entrance to his house. That time is now, and I am currently in his home taking a shower after he suggested I take one. I know that Issei-san is a good person and I can trust him. I feel relieved that I had a spare outfit in my brown satchel to replace the torn one that Fried ruined, so I did not have to impose on Issei-san by borrowing any of his clothes. I exited the shower feeling clean once again and dried myself off, getting dressed shortly after. I returned to Issei's room smelling a warm fragrance as I stepped inside. Thank you for letting me use your shower, Issei-san," I said, feeling both happy and embarrassed, this being my first time in a boy's room before. "Not a problem, Asia, please have a seat, I've prepared some tea," Issei said, offering me a cup. Thank you very much," I said, bowing to him. Sitting down at the other end of the table afterwards. "It's delicious." "I see, I'm glad you like it," Issei said with that warm smile of his. "So Asia, how are you feeling?" Issei asked me, obviously concerned about what just happened to me. "I'm fine now, all thanks to you. You really are a saint, Hayato Issei." "Amen," I sending a prayer. "Ah. What's wrong?" "I'm so sorry, I forgot you're a devil, so that must hurt you, right?" I said, panicking when I realized I hurt him. "It's fine. And what do you mean you forgot I was a devil? Surely that priest said it enough," Issei said, laughing a bit afterwards. "Well, the thing is, Issei-san is such a nice person that I couldn't see you as any kind of devil," I said with a slight blush on my cheeks, realizing I said something very embarrassing. "I see, thank you Asia, that makes me happy," Issei said, avoiding my embarrassment as he accepted what I just said happily. "Anyway Asia, I have something to ask you," Issei said, staring right at me after finishing his tea. "Yes, what is it?" I said back, feeling nervous. "Is it really true that you have no place left to go?" Issei said to me, making me surprised, but I answered him. "Yes, I was exiled from the church, so I no longer have a home." "Ah, but don't worry, I can take shelter in the church," I said, secretly worried about it. "No, that's not good enough. I will offer you the spare room in my house," I can't just let a pretty and gentle girl like you stay out on the streets. Please accept my offer, I really want to help you. Issei said, making me cry. I placed my arms around his neck in happiness as I thanked him repeatedly. Thank you so much, Issei-san. I don't care if you are a devil. You truly are a great person and a gift sent to me from God. I promise that I won't be a burden to you. I said, now releasing him and now sitting on my knees. Nice to meet you, my name is Issei Argento. Please take care of me, Issei-san. I said, feeling very emotional to be saved not just once, but twice by this boy. Normal perspective. Issei patted the blonde girl on the head and then wiped away her tears. Go get some rest, you must be exhausted. Issei said, settling the girl's mood. Yes, I am, it's been quite a day. Asia said, stretching her arms as she stood up. Tomorrow's a Saturday, so I will introduce you to my master and see if we can help you out, Issei said to the girl as she approached the door. Yes, thank you very much, I am very grateful, Issei-san. Asia said, approaching the room Issei let her use. At night, the holy sister finally managed to get a good night's sleep. Meanwhile, a certain red-haired beauty struggled to get even a wink of sleep. Rias collapsed onto her bed, having suffered another nightmare of Riser, this time of him killing Issei. What should I do? Rias said as she began to get upset, knowing full well that she wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. The next day arrived in a flash at the Haidu household as the Red Dragon Emperor began his morning routine. After completing his early workout, Issei began preparations for breakfast. Asia was still asleep, but she was soon woken up by a beautiful aroma that invaded her nostrils, waking her up gently. Asia went down the stairs following the interesting scent leading her towards the living room. Asia's sleepy eyes shot wide open when she saw the feast that was laid out on the table. Ah, good morning, Asia, did you sleep well? Issei said, smiling towards her whilst he took off his apron. Yes, I did, thank you, Asia replied, unable to turn away from the delicious food on the table. Ah, that. I'm sorry, I guess I made a bit too much. My appetite is that of a dragon's after all, so I forget to hold back when preparing somebody else's meals. Issei said, smiling whilst he scratched the back of his head. No, it all looks so delicious, and plus I'm very hungry, thank you for the food, Asia said, showing no hesitation to dig in. This is so good, Issei-san, you're a great chef. Asia said, making Issei smile. Well, you know, when you've lived alone for 6 years, you learn how to do things like this. Issei said, causing Asia to ask. Issei-san, why do you live alone? Asia said, causing Issei to pull a sad expression. Even though it's been asked many times, Issei still feels the pain whenever he remembers their lifeless bodies on the ground. When I was only 11 years old, my parents were murdered by a fallen angel, and then I too was killed. I was revived as a devil and then once again came close to death. But when I wished for power to protect myself and to avenge my parents, it's as if the sacred gear heard me and gave me power. I got my revenge, but I vowed that I would never let anybody else's lives be made miserable by the fallen angels and that I would protect the innocent. Issei said, quickly consuming his drink. Afterward, seeing Asia about to cry, he spoke up. But don't worry, I'm fine. Hurry, eat your breakfast and then take a shower. I have washed and dried some clothes for you, so please go get ready, we have a big day ahead of us. Issei said, quickly disrupting the depressing atmosphere. Yes, I will, Asia said, resuming her delicious meal. After Asia and Issei were ready to go, the two left the Haidu residence and made their way for Kuo Academy. Issei and Asia approached the Orc clubhouse and opened the wide wooden doors, entering into the sitting room. Excuse me, President Rias. Issei said, making his way to his master's desk after noticing the situation. Rias Gremory was in fact in the clubhouse, but she wasn't aware of Issei or Asia's presence. Issei smiled and removed his jacket, placed it over his master's shoulders as she slept on her desk. Thanks for the hard work, master. Issei said, placing a note he wrote to her in the jacket pocket. Let's go, Asia, the president is tired, so I will show you around the town. Issei said, ushering her out of the room. Yes, of course, Issei-san. Asia said, following him out of the room. Meanwhile, while Issei and Asia were making their way out of the building, the president was imprisoned in her dreams. Rias Gremory felt so cold during her sleep as soon as that frightening man appeared again. Ah, look, it's my wife to be, Rias. I hope you know that I plan on having sex with you before we are married. The golden-haired devil said, making Rias startled and start to retreat back. Just as Rias stepped back though, a circle of flames surrounded them, trapping her inside. There is nowhere to run, my Rias, you are mine, and someday I will take you for myself. No, stay back. Shout as loud as you want, Rias. Nobody is going to save you. Riser said, tearing at Rias' school shirt, revealing her naked torso. All of a sudden, Rias suddenly felt a warm sensation not from the fire but inside her chest. As if he were summoned by her cries for help, Rias was completely silenced when she saw the brown-haired boy with his sacred gear equipped standing right in front of her. Issei? You bastard, I won't let you hurt Rias anymore. Issei said whilst his sacred gear's gem began to shine on cue. Rias ran towards Issei's back and tried to throw her arms behind him. But before she could do this, he vanished and Rias had come back to reality. Rias took a few seconds to register what just happened, and this left her both relieved and sad. Relieved that Issei showed up in her dream to protect her. And sad because she didn't even get the chance to embrace Issei in her dreams, let alone in reality. It was then she realized the warm coat which was placed on her back whilst she slept at her desk. Rias blushed when she recognized the scent as she held it towards her face. "It's Issei's scent," Rias said, sighing as she hugged it close towards her chest, revealing the letter that fell out of the pocket. The president opened up the folded paper and read what it said. "President Rias, yesterday I saved a holy sister from an abusive priest and she now has no place to go home to. I took her in because she's only just arrived in Japan and still has loads to learn, but I mainly feel responsible because I killed Rainer, the fallen angel she was being fed and kept alive by. Need to speak to you about what we should do next as I believe that you are the right person to come to about this. Thanks for the hard work. Hi to Issei." Rias folded the letter and began doing the task she set out to do when she first came into the clubroom. Elsewhere, Issei and Asia were walking around the town to which Issei was showing her around. Issei decided to take Asia clothes shopping first because of her lack of the essentials, paying for them himself from his savings as a devil he earned whilst he worked as a stray devil for cices. After they finished clothes shopping, Issei bought Asia and himself a crepe. "Here you go Asia," Issei said, handing her the delicious pastry. After Asia took a bite from the snack, she began to cry, alerting Issei. "What's wrong Asia, do you not like it?" Issei said, panicking over Asia suddenly crying. "No, it's not that at all. It's just ever since I was little, I have always dreamed about making friends with others. We would go play, read books and pick flowers. And you've treated me so kindly, a complete stranger. I don't know how to thank you," Asia said, unable to contain her happiness. "What are you talking about Asia? I already consider us as friends and friends look out for each other, so you have no need to thank me. I'm just doing what I can to help a friend who is in trouble," Issei said, patting her on the head. Asia couldn't contain herself any longer as she wrapped her arms around him. "Thank you so much Issei-san, I'm so happy that the first person I met yesterday was such a nice and gentle man like you," Asia said, accidentally pushing her crepe into his nose. "Oh, I'm so sorry," Asia said, bowing down to him. Issei burst out laughing as he removed the cream from his nose. "Hey, if you wanted to share your food with me, you should have just said so," Issei said, smiling as he ate the cream that was left on his face. Asia stopped panicking and began to laugh as well. After a long day of visiting the tourist attractions and landmarks, Issei and Asia were beginning to make their way back to the Haidu residence. "Asia, stay behind me," Issei said as a loud sound of flapping wings sounded through the sky. "Who are you and what do you want, fallen angel?" Issei said, getting ready to fight. "I have no business with you, devil, now hand over the nun nice and slowly. She belongs to the fallen angels," the male corrupt angel said. "Asia belongs to nobody and if you want her you'll have to get through me first," Issei said back. "She is a mere human who possesses a sacred gear. It is her destiny to either die or serve us higher beings. Then I will protect her from scum like you. I am the Sekiryutei Haidu," Issei the teen said as he revealed his boosted gear. "No way, the Sekiryutei? The devil that killed Ddraig and Rainer?" That line made Asia shocked and Issei on high alert. "That's right, I will kill anyone who threatens to hurt those I love, so if you treasure your life, get out of here now," Issei said, making the fallen angel cower backwards and fly away. "Issei-san, is it true that you killed Rainer?" Asia said, very startled. "Yes, it's true, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I just didn't want to frighten you," Issei said, completely surprised by Asia's actions when she grabbed him. I knew that God sent you to help me. I was suffering when I was with the fallen angels, but you set me free, Issei, and I couldn't ask for a better person to call my friend," Asia said, holding him close. "I'm glad that I helped you, Asia. I know exactly what it's like to have your life ruined by fallen angels," Issei said as they walked home. Issei and Asia made it back to the Haidu household and they made their way to bed straight after they brushed their teeth. "Good night, Issei-san, thank you for these pajamas, they are very comfortable," Asia said, smiling. "That's okay, Asia. If you need anything just ask me, okay?" Issei said as they both went into their rooms. Issei removed his t-shirt and climbed into bed, one thought in his mind as he closed his eyes. "I wonder if Rias is okay." Later on in the night, a bright crimson light shone from the center of Issei's bedroom. As if she was answering Issei's question, Rias Gremory stood there in Issei's room and began to remove her clothes. "I'm sorry, Issei, please forgive me. But I feel more comfortable sleeping by your side. I can't sleep without you anymore," the Crimson Princess said as she climbed under the covers with Issei resting her naked body on his chest. "It's just as I thought, this is where I feel the most comfortable. I just wish I could stay by your side forever, Issei." Rias said as she closed her eyes and stole him for the use of a body pillow. Chapter 7 Rias is worried. Anger of the Sekiryutei. First of all, I would like to say a few things before I start this chapter. Firstly, I would like to thank all of my readers who have taken an interest in my story and have made reviews to help me improve it. Thanks a lot, I love you all. D. Secondly, there have been many comments about the pace of the story, and I just thought I would comment on my decision of why I decided to do the story at this pace. First of all, this story won't follow the original storyline to an exact match, so there will be differences. Secondly, I want to rush through the first season because the main focus of the first season in the anime and light novel is to focus on Issei's growth as a devil, but as I have made clear in the beginning, Issei is much more powerful in this story due to his early awakening and being taught by cices and Azazel. However, I intend to slow the story down after Riser and Issei fight to close the distance between Issei and Rias so she falls for him completely. So thank you all for understanding. Please enjoy the chapter. Issei suddenly woke from his sleep when he felt something soft touching his arm. As Issei opened his eyes to investigate, he suddenly became both very embarrassed and shocked when he saw his master laying right next to him stark naked. President Rias. I'm sorry, I'll move right away, Issei said, panicking as he tried to retreat from the bed. All of a sudden, Issei found himself being pulled back into his bed as if he were captured by a powerful magnet. The brown-haired teen tried to escape again, but suddenly stopped when he heard something. No, please don't leave me, Issei. Rias said as she pulled Issei's head in between her boobs. Issei smiled and relaxed himself, deciding to stroke Rias' hair instead to settle her down. You don't have anything to worry about, Rias, I would never leave your side. Issei said, looking at his clock, and found himself falling asleep again when he realized it was only 4 a.m. 2 hours later, Rias opened her eyes, stretching her arms above her head to wake herself up. Rias looked to her side and was suddenly overcome with joy when she saw Issei was sound asleep right next to her. Feeling lazy because it was a Sunday, Rias lay back down by his side and stared at her servant whilst he rested. Rias couldn't help herself as her heart felt like it was trying to escape her chest as she stared at him. The Crimson Princess sat up as soon as she heard a knock on Issei's bedroom door. Yes, come in. Rias said, trying her best not to wake up Issei. As soon as Rias invited the guest in, the beautiful golden-haired girl entered the room and looked very nervous. Oh, you must be the nun who Issei saved the other day. Rias said, remembering Issei's note. Yes, Miss Rias, my name is Asia, and Issei-san really helped me the other day. He is a great person. Asia said back. Of course, that's my cute servant, alright. Well then, Asia, how about I help you say thank you to Issei? Come with me. Rias said as she climbed out of bed and began getting dressed. Thank Issei-san. Yes, that's right, come on, let's make him some breakfast to make him happy. Rias said as she led Asia out of the room, leaving Issei to sleep soundly. Asia and Rias spent their time in the kitchen preparing Issei's breakfast and his morning beverage whilst they spoke to each other. So Asia, do you like living at Issei's house? Rias said as she poured Issei's tea. Yes. It's very comforting and warm here. Issei-san is a very gentle person and has been a huge help for me. Asia said back happily whilst she prepared his rice. I see, well, Issei is a good person, so please do whatever you can to help him, Asia. The high-class devil said, making Asia reply instantly. Of course I will do anything I can to help Issei, even if it's just household chores. I don't intend to take advantage of Issei's help. Asia said, making Rias smile. I'm glad to hear that. Now let's go set the table. I sense he'll be waking up soon. The crimson-haired girl said, placing the cutlery on the table. Issei on schedule awoke from his bed at 6:30, putting on a t-shirt and walked into the dining room to make his morning tea. But to his great surprise, a delicious fragrance originated from the next room. The dragon wielder walked into the room and witnessed the two beauties looking at him with a smile as they stood over the feast on the table. Good morning, Issei-san. Asia said, waving towards the teen. Good morning, Issei, I hope you're hungry because two beautiful girls have made you a feast for you to eat. Rias said, gesturing towards the fine cuisine decorated on the table. Boy, that smells good, thanks for the meal, Issei said, digging into his breakfast along with Asia and Rias, who also begun to eat. After a lively breakfast, Issei placed the bowls in the sink, getting ready to clean up. No, that's okay, Issei-san. Please allow us to wash the dishes whilst you go take a bath. Asia said, making Issei smile in response. Well then, thank you, I will take two up on your kind offer. Issei said, rubbing both of their heads and journeying upstairs afterwards. The bath, huh? Rias thought to herself as she snuck away from the kitchen, leaving Asia to wash up. Rias removed her clothes along with her underwear and entered through the door, grabbing onto Issei's arm before he entered the bath. I got you, Rias said with a teasing expression. P.Pr. President Rias, what are you doing in here? Issei said, panicking as he couldn't help but gaze at her beautiful figure. What? Isn't that obvious? A good master always deepens their bonds with their servants. So I'm going to wash your back for you. Rias said, trailing her index finger from his abdomen up to his chest. But even so. Issei said. You don't want me to wash your back? Rias said with a slight pout, making Issei melt inside. Damn, she's just too cute, Issei thought to himself as he answered her question. I didn't say that, master. Issei said, trying his best to look away. Then let's get inside, Rias said with a happy expression, not noticing the sudden guest. Lady Rias, this isn't appropriate behavior for the heir to the Gremory name. Honestly, frolicking in the nude with just a low-class devil, please get dressed and follow me to the school. A silver-haired woman said as she dressed in a maid outfit. Don't call my servants low-class, big sister Graphia. It matters not what I call them. Please just exercise caution when you leave yourself vulnerable to a man. Graphia said, making Issei turn around and speak to her. Low-class devil. How mean, Graphia. Have you forgotten who I am already? Issei said, grinning at her when he saw her reaction. The Sekiryutei. Hi do Issei. I do apologize for my rude manner of speaking. It has been quite a while since you left the Gremory castle. Graphia said, bowing to him. That's okay. By the way, is Lord Cices as well? Issei said, acting very formal with her. Yes, he is missing you greatly though, Issei. I see, no wonder that guy never changes. Issei said with a smile. Graphia returned her sight to Rias. Please get dressed and travel with me to the clubhouse. Gather all of your servants, it's time. Graphia said, making Rias sad all of a sudden. I see. Then I will get ready. Rias said, using magic to dress herself in her Kuo Academy outfit. Right. President Rias, is something wrong? Issei said, sensing Rias' change in her mood. Yes. Forgive me, Issei, I will be heading off first. Please come to the clubroom with Asia once you have finished your preparations. Rias said, putting on her shoes and heading towards the entrance. Yes, President, I will be there shortly. Issei said with a smile, but Rias merely responded with a weak smile back. Issei knew something was wrong, but brushed it off, remembering he would have another chance to talk to her about it. After Issei and Asia finished their morning duties, they rushed towards Kuo Academy's clubroom. Issei realized that he and Asia were the last to arrive as he felt his other devil comrades already present in the room. However, something didn't feel right with Issei as he approached the room. Nevertheless, Issei brushed it off once again and opened the doors, greeting everyone. Morning everyone, what's the big emerging? Issei said, cutting himself short when he immediately noticed the discomfort on his master's face as she sat next to another on the sofa. Issei, good for you to make it. Graphia said, acknowledging that all were present now. Issei wasn't listening to Graphia at this point as his focus was wandering elsewhere as he watched his master carefully. This is Rias Gremory's fiancée, Razor Phoenix. Graphia said, but Issei still focused his attention on her. His anger boiling inside as he saw Rias looking uncomfortable. The golden-haired devil was running his hands all over Rias as he touched every part of her. Rias remained silent as the perverted devil grabbed her boob and rubbed against her thigh with his other hand. Issei had enough and finally spoke up. Excuse me, could you stop doing that to the president? She doesn't look too comfortable there. Issei said, suppressing his anger. Huh? Learn your place, low-class devil, I will do what I please, the pervert replied in an arrogant tone towards Issei. Rias decided she had enough and slapped away his hands as she stood up. That's enough. Razor, I told you before, I will not marry you. And I told you, Rias, that this marriage is necessary for the future of the devil's survival. And you will let me do as I please to preserve the lives of your weak servants. Razor said back, making Kiba materialize, a sword being quickly stopped by Kaneko. My family is being too rash with this. Rest assured, I intend to marry, but only with a man I choose myself that I truly love and who truly loves me for not just being the heir to the Gremory family. But just as Rias. Rias replied, feeling shocked when Razor suddenly grabbed her by the chin to face him. Stop behaving like a brat and think of our race, Rias. And accept my generosity to merge with the Phoenix household. Razor said, leaning in to kiss her. Rias starts to whimper and leak a tear as she clearly showed she did not want this to be her first kiss. Suddenly, Rias feels a great force pulling her away from the Phoenix member, followed by a gentle arm wrapping round her waist. I told you to stop upsetting my master, Issei said, now equipping his boosted gear. Boy, you don't know who you are messing with. Razor said, clicking his fingers and as a result summoning his peerage. I won't let you harm my president anymore, Razor, Issei said back, making Razor angry. Who do you think you are? You're just air, Razor said, being silenced by Issei, who threw a powerful punch, halting it as it neared his nose. The strength of Issei's punch created a huge gaping hole in the wall behind Razor, showing the full velocity and dynamic force of Issei's power. I won't tell you again, take one more step towards Rias and I won't hold back, Issei said, his boosted gear shining as it boosted several times in a row. How dare you attack my king, a purple-haired lady said, unleashing her explosive power. Issei didn't budge from his spot. He stood as he embraced, gently placing his palm out in front of them and grasped hold of the explosion. "Serves you right for attacking Lord Razor," the purple-haired devil said, her look of satisfaction quickly fading as the smoke faded away. "Is that all?" Issei replied, looking at the puzzled queen. "How dare you, let's go." Carmine Razor's knights jumped into action, both taking offensive fighting stances on either side of Issei. "If you choose to point your weapons at me," Issei said, being cut off by the first knight who aimed a sword slash towards him. Issei grabbed the blade of her sword, crushing it effortlessly with his gauntlet. "Then you two will be my enemy," Issei said, discarding the crushed shards of the sword with a scary expression. "Razor Phoenix, let's settle this like men. I challenge you to a battle one-on-one at your engagement party. And if I win, you let Rias go. I know my president. Rias Gremory is a strong and powerful devil, but deep down behind all that strength she displays, she's just like any other girl who is entitled to choose the one she wants to be with. And I can see by the look of disgust on her face that you couldn't possibly bring her that. And as a servant of Rias Gremory and her trusted pawn, I will fight for her dream and protect her." Rias began to blush at Issei's manly behavior and listens to the conversation. "Very well, it will make for some great entertainment at the party and will mark as my final flame before I settle down." But that being said, Razor and his peerage were engulfed in flames and vanished from the club room. Issei releases Rias and then goes down to one knee. "Master Rias Gremory, I request a leave of absence from my usual duties to allow me time to train," Issei said, looking her right in the eyes. "Issei, you don't have to do this doesn't concern you," Rias said in a harsh tone because she was really worried about him. "My duty as your servant is to help you achieve your dreams, President. And I can tell that you're not happy with this marriage that has been arranged for you. So I will do everything in my power to protect your happiness." Issei making her blush and only able to say one thing in response. "Okay Issei, I will permit this absence," Rias said, unable to say anything else. "Thank you Rias Gremory, please stay at my house until I return. I promise I will return to bring you back here," Issei said as he created a magic circle. "I understand," Rias said as he began to vanish. "Thank you master, I'm off to the underworld now, so please take care of Asia," Issei said, vanishing in the blink of an eye. President Rias. "What is it Asia?" Rias said back in a friendly tone. "Please make me your servant as well. I want to stay by Issei-sen's side forever and help all of you with my sacred gear to heal you when you get hurt," Asia said, bowing down in respect. "I understand. I will make you the Gremory household second bishop. Are you sure you're prepared to do this?" Rias said, getting Asia's confirmation. "Yes, my resolve is clear and I want to do this. I want to get to know you all and become great friends with you. I want to be able to help Issei to, so please make me your servant President," Asia said, bowing down her head again. Rias smiled and then said, "Welcome to the Gremory household Asia Argento." Meanwhile at the Gremory castle, two devils faced each other in the throne room. "Please Lord Cices, allow me to train under you and Azazel again. I am ready to release the full potential of my sacred gear," Issei said, bowing his head down to the Demon King. "Why do you feel you need to do this?" Cices said to the Red Dragon Emperor. "Because I want to be able to gain enough power to protect Rias and the rest of the Gremory household from any other threat besides Riser who may surface." Lord Cices smiled, feeling Issei's strong resolve. "Very well, I will allow you to train with me and Azazel again. Be prepared." "Thank you very much Lord Cices. I promise that I will not let Rias shed any more tears doing something she does not want to do," Issei said, bowing and then leaving the room. "President Rias, I swear I will protect your smile. And help all of your dreams become a reality," Issei said as he began his basics training. Chapter 8 Training Time. Issei and the Demon Lord Cices traveled the corridors of the Gremory castle, making their way to the training hall. "Honestly Issei, you're so mean. You spent so long away from the castle and I didn't even receive a single postcard or call from you," Cices said, making Issei grin. "Forgive me Cices, I had something to take care of first," Issei said, referring to his fallen angel missions. Yes I know Issei, or should I call you by your other name in the demon world? The corrupt fallen angel exterminator Nightwing," Cices said, making Issei blush a bit. "Lord Cices, please don't come up with strange nicknames," Issei said back, referring to what Cices just said. "But it sounds cool doesn't it? And there you go calling me Cices again. I told you to call me Big Brother, remember?" Cices said, pulling a sad face. "You're the demon lord, there is no way I could address you like that," Issei said, remembering this is what Cices the man who saved him was like. "Hey, why not? After all, when you marry Rias I'll be your brother-in-law," Cices said, making Issei blush again. "What are you babbling about now? Rias is already taken," Issei said, following a smile on Cices' face. "But you're going to win her freedom, aren't you?" "Well yeah, but you've already said you'll save her from that man." "Of course, but even so." So I hope you're prepared to take responsibility and take care of Rias for me. Cices said, smiling towards the young devil. Originally I was just fulfilling a promise I made to you, the man I owe my life to. I promised you I would find my master and protect your little sister. But when I finally met her, I was blown away. I admire her charisma and her love for her servants, but the truth is when I see her cry or when she is unhappy, I want to do whatever I can to make her smile again. Issei said without even thinking, and made a certain high-class devil grin. Very good, Issei, you have passed the test. Test what, T? Issei said, being interrupted by Cices, who said something outrageous again. So you need to train in order to sweep her off her feet and make her yours. Cices said his older brother loves Rias switch being turned on. Will you cut it out? Geez, Cices, it's so amazing that you're still keeping hell together. Now don't say that, Issei, we're here. Cices said, standing outside a door with a gold plate across the top. I'll allow Azazel to start you off. After your session, come find me and I will do our usual training routine. I understand, please teach me, Lord Cices. Issei said, now knocking on the door and walking inside. Good afternoon, Azazel. Issei said so formally to the high-tier fallen angel. Ah, now this brings back memories. What do you want with me, Red Dragon Emperor Hayadu, Issei? Azazel replied, spinning around to see the devil as he took a sip from his goblet. I want you to help me unlock the full extent of my balance breaker power. At the moment I have only been able to summon the form when I am taken over by a furious rage or when I am face to face with a fallen angel. But it's not convenient for me anymore. I have found a master and made friends with my fellow servants, and I want to gain the power to protect them all, Issei said, sitting down in Caesar position whilst he spoke to Azazel now. I see, so you have finally found a goal that doesn't center on hatred or revenge. Azazel said, looking on proudly at his young pupil. Yes, but I can't afford to rely on my balance breaker form as it is now. I can't risk the power overtaking me and making me lose all my reason. I can't risk hurting anyone. So please help me achieve balance breaker completely. This incomplete state is too unstable, and I could risk going into Juggernaut overdrive mode. Issei said, fully aware of this form prior to Ddraig's warning. I see, sure thing, I will help you unlock the full extent of your power. But be prepared, this training may affect you both mentally and physically. But are you still prepared? Azazel said. If it's to help me protect my new life and my master, I will endure any pain or torture I have to face. Ever since I became a devil I never felt I had any reason left to live. Now my parents are gone. The only thing that kept me alive was my desire for revenge. But now I want to protect everyone of the Gremory household. Well, I guess you could say I want to protect my master. Issei said, showing his resolve. Very good, I like the look in your eyes. Right, we will get started immediately. First things first, activate your sacred gear. Azazel said, standing from his seat. I understand. Boosted gear, Issei replied, bringing out his gauntlet. The purpose of this training is to unlock your balance breaker. To do that, you are going to have to travel inside your sacred gear itself and face the power you fear so much head on. Partner, be careful. Ddraig. When your spirit goes inside the gauntlet, I won't be able to reach you. So make sure you don't lose to the destruction that lies inside. I won't accept it if you let those weaklings who can't hold a candle to the current Sekiryutei. Don't worry about that, Ddraig, I have no intention of losing to this power. After all, I made a promise to Rias. I will free her from that bastard and become strong enough to protect my new friends. Issei said as he closed his eyes and prepared himself. As soon as Issei opened his eyes again, he found himself in a white void. So this is inside my sacred gear? I best stay on my guard, anything can happen if I let it down here. All of a sudden, Issei felt like he was dreaming as the beautiful and elegant master of his stood right there in front of him. Rias? What are you doing here? Issei said with a smile as he ran towards her. Issei found himself striking an invisible barrier, propelling him backwards from his master. It was what happened next that began to strike pain inside him. You really think you can save her? Issei turned around slowly, a look of despair on his face, recognizing the voice. How can you expect to save her when you couldn't even protect your parents? Rainer said, making Issei lose his mental strength. Issei screamed when he saw the two dead bodies at his feet again. You're nothing but a little boy crying for his mother, you can't protect anyone, Rainer said, stabbing him in the shoulder whilst he knelt down staring at his parents' dead bodies. No, you're wrong, I plan to use this power to protect those I care about. Protect them? I think you're mistaken. All you know how to do is destroy and kill. You'll be more fitting known as the Crimson Dragon of Destruction. Your parents are dead because of me, a monster. But if you continue to pursue your false sense of justice, you will continue to be consumed by that overwhelming power and kill all of them. Everyone you cared for will be annihilated by the dragon that you will become, Rainer said, stabbing him with another light spear, pinning him to the ground. She's right, no matter how many times the sacred gear is passed on, all of the possessors let out the monster within cause chaos and destruction, with the flames of purgatory, one of the green orbs of light said, making Issei lose further in mental power. It's always been because of power. It's always been for love. No matter how many times it happens, they all chose the path of ruin, all green light said, making Issei scream further in despair. No, I won't let that happen, Issei shouted, feeling the words pierce him deep. It's true, I'm afraid of my power. I'm afraid that it will destroy everything. Issei said with a blank expression now. That's right, accept reality and watch as your beloved master suffers because you cannot protect her, Rainer said, pointing towards Rias, who was now being approached by the golden-haired pervert. No, stay back, Issei will come, he will come save me, Rias said in tears as her uniform was turned to ash and she tried to retreat in just her underwear. You bastard, stay away from my master, Issei said, trying to stand, but the pain was too unbearable. Razor destroyed the demon lord's little sister's bra, next releasing Ria's boobs and making her hide them in embarrassment. No, stay away from me. I will make you obedient towards your husband, Razor said, pushing her down to the floor. I said stay away from her. It's useless, if you persist this path, you will be swallowed by the power and you will kill her yourself. No, Issei, help me. Issei gritted his teeth and began to pick himself up. You will fall helpless to the power, no one can escape the power of the Red Dragon Emperor. Get away from her, Issei said quietly, trying to stand up. Haha, that's right, squirm like your parents did, you pathetic boy, Rainer said as Issei screamed, trying to force his body through the light spears. You will submit to the Juggernaut overdrive, there is no escape. Issei, Rias screamed, being fondled by the Phoenix member. Don't buck with me, Issei shouted, being surrounded by towering flames burning the screaming Rainer to ashes. A row of fallen angels that Issei defeated stood in his way now. Get out of my way, Issei shouted, dashing right through them. That's right, scream his name whilst I make you mine, Riser said, making Rias scream louder. Rias, Issei shouted, his whole body being surrounded in a tower of fire. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker, Ddraig shouted, Issei's sacred gear becoming visible again. Issei emerged from the flames and was now wearing his highly durable dragon armor. I said get out of my way, Issei dashed forward with his dragon wings flapping and his emerald boosters on his back blasting. Issei advanced, immediately reducing each and every one of his previous assassinations to smoke as he approached the invisible wall. Issei swung his fist at the barrier, determined to break through at full speed. Get away from Rias, Issei said, increasing his power as he tried to punch through. Boost, 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 boost. Issei's sacred gear shone brighter than he has ever experienced before as cracks now formed on the invisible wall. Break through. Boost, 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 boost. The wall that denied Issei's access very adamantly earlier crumbled to pieces in an instant, the shards of the barrier falling to the ground. Issei charged straight ahead, showing no fear towards the devil, who tried to take advantage of his precious master, collided with him head-on. Issei crashed his fist into the arrogant devil, resulting with Riser attacking him back with his flames. Issei and Riser locked horns fiercely, the power struggle between them continuing. You're just a low-class devil, how dare you interfere. I don't give a crap about ranks, I will not let you have Rias, Issei shouted, using his dragon shot to extinguish the so-called immortal flame. Issei knelt down to the distressed girl and began to speak to her. Whether this is an illusion or reality, I promise you I will not fail you, I will rescue you, Rias, Issei said as the red-haired girl was consumed in a blinding light, making her disappear. It was only after his master left the void that Issei realized his transformation. He did it, he finally achieved Balance Breaker through a method of reasoning other than revenge or hatred. He succeeded with the goal of protecting his master and King Rias Gremory. Issei shielded his eyes from a blinding light, feeling himself being pulled upwards as if he were leaving the atmosphere itself. Boy Sekiryutei. Issei. Issei opened his eyes, locating the source of the voice calling out to him. Azazel. What happened? Issei asked, Ddraig being the one to answer instead. Partner, congratulations, you did it, you achieved Balance Breaker, Ddraig answered, leaving Issei flabbergasted. I did. That wasn't just an illusion. Sacred gears respond to the will of their user. Your desire to overcome the corruption and save Rias allowed you to unlock and break the seal. Ddraig said to Issei's great delight. Yes, now I can move on to the second stage of my training, Issei said, feeling the increased power running through his veins. According to my analysis, partner, with this seal being broken, you now have the ability to stay in Balance Breaker form for at least 30 minutes. Ddraig said, feeling Issei's innate power. Impressive, looks like you'll be ready for Serzich's training now. I hear he has something special planned for you. It seems you passed the exam, Issei. Now go and get some rest. You'll need it for what comes next. Azazel said, dismissing Issei from his room. Issei went to the guest room at once, summoning his gauntlet as soon as he went inside. Ddraig, I need to talk to you. What's the matter, partner? Ddraig replied, unable to predict Issei's motive. As it stands, I may be in danger when controlling the balance breaker of the boosted gear. At the moment my balance breaker is still in an incomplete state, which could easily switch to Juggernaut overdrive if I should let my guard down. So Ddraig, I have a favor to ask of you. What can I do for you, Issei? I want you to take possession of my arm and turn part of my body into a dragon. I feel if you help me, I can control this power and achieve complete control of the Longinus and your hidden power. So please, Ddraig. Issei said, bowing to his sacred gear. I got it, partner, I can see you're thinking wisely by allowing me to help you control the power. You're not alone here. Ddraig said in a cheerful manner, realizing that Issei was thinking logically. I'm ready when you are, Ddraig. Issei said as a bright light shot through the windows in the Gremory castle. Meanwhile in the human realm, Rias and the rest of her peerage were en route to a selected mountain terrain. Flashback. After Asia was brought back as a devil, Rias gathered everyone in the club room, for she had an announcement to make. Everyone gather your belongings and prepare to leave by evening. Rias ordered, determination burning through her eyes. What is the reason for this sudden trip, Rias? Argento said, confused of the idea of a sudden journey. Asia, our newest member, requested that I help her understand the power of her sacred gear, and she also wants to get to know the rest of her kind. Also, I thought this would be a great opportunity to hone and increase the skill level of the Gremory household. Rias said as, but really the reason was she couldn't afford to not be proactive with so much on her, she needed something to distract her. But Issei gone, her worries only grew further, feeling like she saw a premonition as she was hunted night after night by the same dream. The dream was always the same. Issei covered in blood and then being burned to a crisp by Razor. Rias was desperate and was prepared to marry Razor in order to prevent this tragedy from happening. End of flashback. Kiba, Kaneko, Asia, Argento and Rias finally made it to the bootcamp Rias had organized with motivation running on overdrive as they traveled through the gateway. Rias had already planned out each of her servants' training schedules, which were all organized into pairs. It was decided that this would be the matchups. Kaneko and Kiba. Asia and Argento. Kaneko was instructed to improve her speed and endurance, making Kiba an excellent partner for this task. Kiba's instructions were more straightforward. Achieve balance breaker. Asia was to be taught all about her sacred gear by the president herself, including the basics about life as a devil. Followed by magic reinforcement training with Argento. Rias decided to train alone, given her own personal goal to defeat the storm that plagued her mind. Rias was aiming to strengthen her strategic mind and her own power if the worst case should happen, and she was forced to resort to a raiding game for the engagement party's entertainment. Rias couldn't help but wonder about Issei when the sun finally set. Rias was suddenly alerted when she received an incoming call. Hello? Rias, it's been a while since we spoke. Big brother? Yes, have you been well? Yes, big brother, I'm just training my peerage at the Gremory bootcamp. Very good, as expected of my little sister. The silence is drawn out for 1 minute until cices began to speak again. Rias, worry not, Issei is safe and sound. He is training in the underworld with me. Big brother, please stop him, he doesn't need to do this. Sorry, I can't do that, Rias. I have my own personal interest in the boy I resurrected, and I am going to test him personally. Cices said, sending a chill down Rias' spine. Big brother? You don't mean? It appears my guest has arrived. Well then, Rias, goodbye. Cices said, ending the transmission. Big brother? Rias shouted, worried now more than ever. Rias tried to contact her brother, but the connection did not go through, leading to the conclusion that Cices had activated a jammer to prevent outside intrusion. Rias panicked now as Issei was going to be tested by the demon lord himself. Issei, Rias said as she held her hand towards her heart, now worried more than ever. So you've finally arrived. Hi to Issei. Are you ready to fight me now? Yes, I am. Issei said. Interesting, I like the look in your eyes. But don't you dare hold back, because if you hold back against me, you will die, that is guaranteed. Cices said, pointing towards the Red Dragon Emperor. Don't worry, Lord Cices, I'm coming at you with everything I have, Issei said, materializing his dragon armor. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker. Come at me, Issei, Cices said, getting ready to face the Sekiryutei. Chapter 9, Issei's Test. Dragon vs Phoenix. Don't you dare hold back, because if you hold back against me, you will die, that is guaranteed. Cices said, pointing towards the Red Dragon Emperor. Don't worry, Lord Cices, I'm coming at you with everything I have, Issei said, materializing his dragon armor. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker. Come at me, Issei, Cices said, getting ready to face the Sekiryutei. Alright, here I come, Demon Lord Cices, Issei shouted, using his dragon wings to charge him. Hi do, Issei raced toward Cices, aiming to finally land an attack on the all-powerful Demon Lord. A task he has never been able to achieve. However, every time Lord Cices begins to channel his magic power, Issei suddenly halts his attack, feeling the immense pressure from Cices. Cices' eyes began to shift to their intimidating ruby shade, indicating that he was preparing to unleash his ultimate destruction magic. "Don't run away, Issei," Cices shouted, hitting Issei with a direct hit, destroying his armor in an instant. Issei fell down to one knee, coughing up some blood representing Cices' magic power's aftermath. "Well, Issei, are you going to give up already? If so, I'm afraid I won't allow you to crash my cute little sister's wedding party," Cices said with a menacing stare, sending another wave of destructive power towards him. Issei luckily dodged, rematerializing his armor and using his jets to evade the insane magic attack. "What are you saying? Issei, it's time I finally test your full potential. I am going to come at you with no reserve. And if you can't even land one blow on me, I will deem you unfit to care for my little sister." "What are you saying? If you let Razor marry her, he will defile her and make her depressed." "Yes, that is true. However, if you can't prove your resolve to me or show me the power you possess to protect Rias, I will not allow you to interfere. I would rather have Rias safe and alive than to find her dead, murdered by our enemies because you couldn't protect her." "Fine, I will show you right now my full power," Issei said, dodging another one of Cices' attacks. The Red Dragon Emperor was shot at with another dose of Cices' power, but this time Issei countered with his own strike. Dragon shot. Issei's attack looked very powerful previously, but compared to the Demon Lord's overwhelming power, it seemed like nothing more than throwing a rock than a powerful blast. Issei managed to avoid the reflected attack thanks to his evasive technique when he rolled to the side. "Damn it. Is that all you have? Then leave before I kill you," Cices bellowed, unleashing another attack showing no mercy. "At this rate, I will have to entrust her to Razor. Honestly, a member of the Gremory household unable to fight against her own problems and rely on others is truly pathetic." Issei suddenly was surrounded in raging flames. "What the buck did you just say? Interesting. How dare you talk about Rias that way?" Issei said, firing a more pumped-up dragon shot with both of his fists, which were halted by Cices' reinforced demonic defensive shield. "I don't care if you are her brother, I swear that if you speak about the one I admire the most like that again, I will bucking destroy you," Issei roared, making Cices smile. "If you have a problem with it, then silence me yourself." "With pleasure." Boost 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 boost. "Ddraig, I'm doing it now, back me up," Issei said, removing his helmet. "You got it, partner, show him the fruits of your training," Ddraig said, synchronizing with Issei, feeling his burning resolve. "Take this," Issei said, bringing his head back and concentrating his magical power for a fearsome attack. In an instant, Issei launched forth from his mouth a deadly ferocious fireball. "Oh, this isn't much, I could just block this without a worry. Due to its lack in size. Now Ddraig boosted gear gift. Transfer." All of a sudden, all of Issei's gathered magical power was given to his new technique, making it the size of the towering ceiling of the room. "This is interesting, very interesting," Cices said, deploying his magical barrier. Cices struggled to hold the inferno blaze back due to its reinforced power. Almost instantly, Cices grew even more surprised when Issei leaped out from inside the towering inferno, using his jets to shoot right through the scalding heat. Smashing his fist into Cices' barrier. "I can feel your power has increased. However, that will not be enough, I'm afraid. I will have to leave Rias to Razor," Cices said as he planned to launch a disaster strike back. "I will never let that bastard make Rias sad," Issei shouted, smashing his fist into it again. "I may seem like a stupid devil to you, but I will show the full ability and resolve this idiot can do." Boost 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 boost. Cices was highly startled when a thunderous fist connected right with his cheek, destroying the area around him. Issei panted heavily, his fist still implanted in Cices' cheek. As expected of the all-powerful Cices, all that power and still not one scratch to prove my attack. Issei said, collapsing to his knees, his armor falling off next to him. "Even so, you did very well. I'm sorry I deceived you, but I wanted you to come at me with everything you have got. Also, I wanted to see how you really felt about my little sister. Please save Rias. I am putting her happiness and future in your hands," Cices said, smiling, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Go get some rest, you depart tomorrow," Cices said, returning the room to its previous state. "Thank you, Cices, please leave Rias to me," Issei said, his resolve and mission clear to him as he journeyed to his room. The next day marked one of sadness to a certain teenaged red-haired girl as she stood blankly staring at herself in the mirror wearing a gorgeous pure white dress. Rias Gremory fantasized multiple times of this day where she could wear such a beautiful pure dress. But Rias could do nothing but frown and hold back tears when she looked at herself in the mirror. This isn't what she wanted. She wanted to decide this day by herself. She wanted to decide the man she would wed by herself. It was at that moment of sadness a certain someone appeared in her mind, making her heart skip a beat. Issei. Rias said, feeling like she was about to break down, but then stayed strong after she saw that nightmare again. No, this is for the best, at least now Issei won't be gone for good. Even if that means I won't be able to be with him anymore. Rias said, interrupted from her thoughts by the sudden magic circle capturing her. Well then allow me to introduce her. My Empress Rias Gremory, Riser said as the beautiful devil touched the floor. All of a sudden, the two humongous wooden doors which allowed the guests entrance to the hall were launched across the hall and collided into the wall behind Razor. Rias suddenly felt very happy when she saw Issei perfectly fine right there in front of her. I didn't think you would actually come, you worthless devil, but I'm afraid I've lost interest. Get lost before I have you arrested, Razor said, thinking this would make Issei back down. My name is Haidu Issei, pawn to the beautiful and magnificent Rias Gremory, the president. No, Rias' happiness is my job to fulfill, Issei said, making Rias blush from the sudden outburst and her name being spoken. You damn brat, Razor said, clicking his fingers and summoning his peerage. We went easy on you last time, but this time we won't hold back. Let's go, Carmine Siri said, following after Razor's other knight. Tremble in fear by the power of a holy sword, Carmine said, striking Issei's sacred gear, expecting him to scream in pain. The holy weapon had no effect on a low-class devil. Don't tell me. You bastard, did you give your left arm to the dragon inside your sacred gear? Razor said, suddenly surprised by Issei's crazy act. One arm is nothing if I can get Rias back, Issei said, uppercutting the dazed knight into the ceiling. Everyone unleashed the power of the Phoenix, Razor's queen said, making all of Riser's servants concentrate their power together, making an enormous fireball. The power of the Phoenix is nothing compared to the power of a dragon, Issei said, countering with an even larger fireball, creating a smoke screen. It was over in an instant. Issei worked quickly, eliminating each and every one of Razor's servants with one blow, each using his incredible speed and power. Now I'll say it again. Razor, I challenge you to a duel to set Rias free. Do you accept? Or are you scared that your perfect winning streak will be crushed by a mere low-class devil? Issei said, emerging from the smokescreen. You bastard, how dare you make such a scene at the engagement party of the marriage which will save our race from extinction? Razor said, infuriated by Issei's behavior. Why don't you do it, Razor? This is a duel to win my little sister's heart after all. Cices? Big brother? Wait, it's the demon lord. One of the guests said. What are you saying, Cices? This low-class devil is not worthy to. This is my little sister's engagement party, and I want to see it for myself, the resolve of that boy who challenges you so daringly. I want to see the power of the dragon. I see so a battle between a dragon and a phoenix. Very well then, I will mark this as my final battle before I settle down and make Rias my wife. So Haidu Issei, what would you like as your reward if you win? Cices said, causing uproar between the noble guests. Cices, Lucifer, you can't seriously be thinking of giving a reward to a low-class devil. One noble said, in which Cices answered easily. Even if he is a low class, he is still a devil who is willing to go so far for my little sister. So what do you desire? Money, power. Rias Gremory, I demand you cancel this engagement and give her back to me, Issei said, making Rias blush again. The two competitors were suddenly transported to another dimension surrounded by gigantic chess pieces. Well then, let the match begin, Cices said, signaling them to start. Sit tight, Rias, I will be back for you once I burn this parasite. Be prepared. Razor said, summoning his flame wings. Don't worry, Rias, I promised you before that I will bring you back with me, so just watch this fight. I will show you the power of your servant, Issei said, making his gauntlet appear. Granted with his king's permission, Issei promoted himself to queen and began to charge Razor. Say good night, Razor said, launching his hellfire orb at Issei. Issei made the spectators gasp in shock when he made his sacred gear glow, and he punched his way through the magic attack. He then sprung from his current position and landed a roundhouse kick to Razor's chest, crashing him into the huge rock piece. After the high-class devil crashed, he instantly emerged from the ruins with ease. I see, it looks like my current power isn't enough to defeat you. Issei said, making Razor laugh. Are you scared? Are you scared of me? Without your boosted gear, you're nothing but trash, Razor said, mocking Issei's attack. Scared? Of course not. It just means I will have to take my boosted gear to the next level. Let's do it, Ddraig. Alright, ready when you are, partner, Ddraig replied as the boosted gear began to outshine the stadium. Blow over boost. Welsh dragon over booster. Watch and be amazed, this is the power of the Gremory household, the power of the Sekiryutei balance breaker, boosted gear scale male, Issei said proudly, now wearing his dragon armor. Balance breaker? The forbidden move. Rias said, completely flabbergasted. However, Rias wasn't just surprised that Issei could use Balance Breaker. She was more surprised to his appearance as it matched the stray devil that annihilated the fallen angel at the abandoned factory, making it all clear to the Crimson Princess. Issei was the stray devil who easily eviscerated the fallen angel. "Feel free to back down now, Razor, before I destroy you," Issei said, shooting out his dragon wings. Razor couldn't react in time, unable to dodge Issei's ultimate gut punch. That speed and increase in power. "What the hell is going on?" Razor said as he was sent flying by Issei's immediate axe kick. "You dare mock the Phoenix household, you're just a low-class peasant cower before the almighty Phoenix," Razor said, igniting himself and creating a huge bird of fire. "You think that fire can scare me?" Issei said, punching his way straight into the blaze. Razor was shocked and furious the moment he felt himself be overpowered and sent flying again by that arrogant Red Dragon Emperor. "Dragon shot," Issei said, quickly recovering from Razor's attack, which sent him back a bit. Razor grew angrier. "Don't get cocky, just because you have some fancy armor I will destroy it, and you along with it," Razor said, taking immediate evasive action once the dragon shot almost made impact, crumbling the bishop statue instead. "How can a low-class devil like him be overpowering Razor?" one of the nobles said, completely overwhelmed in the excitement. "Razor, give up, you can't win," Issei said as he towered above him. "Don't screw with me, I am immortal, my injuries will instantly recover. Then I will just have to keep beating you until you can no longer heal yourself. I have made my decision and I will not let you hurt Rias anymore," Issei said, igniting his boosters and immediately punching Razor in his vulnerable cheek. Razor spit out blood to his astonishment and then retaliated, using his rage to pump up his punch, hitting the Sekiryutei in the face as well. "Not let me hurt her? I don't think you understand, kid. Rias belongs to me and I will be taking her body for myself even before the ceremony. I will defile her and make her bow down to my power." Issei spat out a few drops of blood and then kicked Razor very hard in the ribs. "Shut up, say anything like that again and I won't hold back," Issei said, quickly being hit by Razor's ignited fist again. "Oh? As I thought, you're just a kid, listen well, I'm going to take Rias' virginity," Razor said, making a grave mistake by angering Issei further. "Shut up, don't speak of my master as a piece of meat," Issei shouted, this time adding a more powerful side kick to his chest, sending him airborne again. "I will fry you, boy. I won't let you make her cry, Razor." The crowd stared in awe, watching the mixtures of crimson and orange lights clashing with each other and then shooting across the sky in another direction, only to collide again. "Just give up, there is nothing you can do, Rias is my woman and I can make her obey my every command," Razor said, making Issei angrier. "Shut up. Her boobs are my own toys, watch as I slightly alter the dress I designed for her," Razor said, clicking his fingers, making Rias scream. "President Rias?" Issei shouted, seeing Rias bend over holding her chest. Issei quickly noticed his president's embarrassment as she covered her released boobs. Her torso completely burned away by that perverted bastard. "You perverted grilled chicken," Issei said, grabbing Razor as he descended from the skies above and crashed him into the ground. "How dare you do that to my master, I'll kill you," Issei said, delivering a few punches to his face, launching him into another building afterwards. "You damn brat, I'll kill you now," Razor said, ignited in fury as he crashed into Issei again. Issei noticed now that Razor's moves were now very inaccurate and easier to evade due to his uncontrollable rage. "It's over, you damn low-class devil scum." "Yeah, you're right, it really is over now," Issei said, instantly punching Razor in the gut. "Arg," Razor said, feeling the full extent of Issei's punch. "Damn you," Razor said, now unable to counterattack against Issei's incredible increased speed and power thanks to his SacredGear, boosting his power every 10 seconds. Issei unleashed a machine gun fist combo on Razor's gut, finishing the multiple strikes with a powerful uppercut and a sky-falling kick, sending Razor to the ground again. "It's over, Razor," Issei said, concentrating the magic in his gauntlets. Boost 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 boost. "Dragon Cannon," the Red Dragon Emperor shouted as he shot 2 dragon shots, one from each gauntlet. The 2 individual deadly blasts formed together in the middle, multiplying both their speed and power, becoming a colossal death ray as it descended upon the ground. A huge explosion of crimson light shot throughout the whole stadium, making the spectators shield their eyes as the ultimate finisher collided with its target. A huge commotion erupted in the crowd as soon as they were able to see again. "Razor Phoenix has lost consciousness, the winner is Haidu," Issei the announcer said, making the dimension begin to crumble. "Looks like he did it," cices said as the Red Dragon Emperor's armor fell off, meaning he used up all of his magic power. Rias smiled as both a blush and tears ran down her cheeks. "Issei, you're so. You're so Ria said quickly leaping off the balcony and deploying her own devil wings to catch her falling pawn that had used up the last of his magic power. President. Issei said now within Ria's embrace. Issei thank you Issei my Issei Ria said hugging Issei's face. Rias landed next to her brother. Looks like you did it Haidu Issei. I leave my little sister to your care. Cices said making Rias shout. Big brother don't go saying things like. Yes you've got it Cices I won't let anything happen to her, Issei said, making Rias blush again seeing Issei's manly side. You're a present for your victory seeing as you are unable to make your own way home. Cices said handing Issei a parchment with a magic symbol on the back. Rias walked with Issei to the other Gremory household members, unable to unwrap herself from his muscular arm. Yo everyone it's been a while. Issei said smiling as he waved at his teammates. Issei san geez I was so worried about you Asia said wrapping Issei in a warm and soothing emerald light. Issei felt his fatigue and pain leave him. Asia's sacred gear being a complete success. Thank you Asia, you've become stronger. Issei said using his other free hand to pat her head. I knew you could take down that guy Issei Kiba said fist bumping his comrade. Of course Kiba, I wasn't going to let him take our president away. Issei said sticking his thumb and smiling. Haidu really is manly, hey can I call you Issei-kun? An elegant black-haired lady said winking at him. Sure thing, then I will call you Akeno-san. Issei said making the fair lady blush. That makes me happy Issei-kun Akeno said trying to hug him but was halted by Ria's glare whilst she continued to hug his arm. But Akeno didn't mind, she was overall relieved to see the girl who rescued her happy again. What is this anyway? Issei said staring at the pamphlet he was given by the demon lord. It's a griffin. Ria said as soon as the creature shot out from the magic circle. Well seeing as it's Issei's moment of triumph, why don't we allow him to escort the president back to the clubroom? Akeno said making Issei blush. Good idea, can I ask you to do that for me? Ria said finally able to release herself from his arm. If it's your order president. Issei said helping her onto the back of the griffin. Well then everyone, we will meet you back in the clubroom. Issei said when the griffin began its flight. Issei was surprised when he felt a hand touch his cheek. President. You're such a fool, giving up your arm just for me. Ria said rubbing his left arm. It was worth it, after all I managed to save you didn't I? You may have been able to beat Razor, but another high-class devil may come along trying to marry me because of my family name again. Well then I guess I'll have to get stronger and protect you. Issei. I have made up my mind, no matter how many times I will always come and save you. After all I am Rias Gremory's pawn Issei declared quickly being silenced by Ria's lips when they pressed against his as the griffin flew past the shining moon. That was my first kiss. In Japan it's something teenage girls really treasure right? Ria said with a pink blush under her eyes. Well yeah I guess it is. Wait a second. That was your first kiss. Is it really okay for me to take it? Issei said completely shocked for the sudden honor. You have done so much for me. That's your reward Ria said looking at Issei happily. Well I will accept it gratefully President Rias. Issei said back to her. Also, I have decided that I will also live in your house. Ria said making Issei almost fall off the griffin because of the sudden shock of the demon lord's little sister being a guest in his home. As a master I plan to deepen my bonds with you my precious and cute pawn. Ria said placing a hand on his cheek again. I understand. Issei said smiling. Rias relaxed her body leaning backwards onto his chest. The sound of the soothing wind in the atmosphere as they flew through the night sky of the underworld. Chapter 10 Times of Peace. Issei felt the aftermath of all his training with the demon lord and his final showdown with the third son of the Phoenix family, returning to his room to sleep away his exhaustion. The Sekiryutei suddenly felt something soft as he rolled over in his sleep, causing him to open his eyes. Before Issei could move away, his master pulled his head towards her chest and let out a slight moan. Good morning Issei. Ria said with a smile as soon as her sea blue eyes opened. President, good morning to you too. What's going on? Issei said back feeling confused. I'm so sorry, I saw you sleeping and I wanted to use you as my body pillow. Issei. Ria said feeling Issei's gaze upon her. What's wrong? I'm sorry master, I just realized how beautiful your body is. Issei said making Rias lay down on top of him and hug him feeling extremely happy. Hey Issei, do you like my boobs? Ria said lifting her belly to show them off. Yes president, they're very attractive. Issei said with a blush averting his eyes from Rias. Do you want to try touching them? Rias said in a hexy tone. What? Issei said as Rias grabbed a hold of his hand and placed it on her left breast. Feeling like a volt of electricity shot straight through her to the core inside. It's just as I thought, when Issei touches me, my heart won't stop racing. Ria said feeling the intense pleasure surrounding her body. Ria. I mean president, you should be careful I am a man after all. You want to take me? Sure, I will do anything you desire. Ria said, feeling warm inside when Issei stared at her. Ria master. Hey Issei, can you please call me Rias when it's just the two of us? Ria said, feeling hopeful. I can't call my master and the demon lord's little sister by her name so casually. Issei thought, forgetting Surzich's telling him to take care of Rias. Please Issei, I really want to call me by my name. Ria said, now looking very cute in Issei's eyes. Showing a brief reminder that Rias wasn't just a high-class devil, but a high school girl who he saved from a terrible marriage. Rias. Issei said, trying to call her casually. I am so happy, Issei, Rias said, hugging him again. Hey, should I take this opportunity to deepen my bond with my precious and handsome pawn? Rias said, licking his neck. Rias, what are you doing? Issei said in a nervous manner as Rias did as she pleased. Well Issei, does it feel good? Rias said in a teasing tone as she changed her target to his well-toned chest after she lifted up his t-shirt. Rias, you shouldn't do this, I'm only a low-class devil and your servant. Issei said, feeling very nervous and strange. I don't care, the only person I want to do this with is my cute and powerful pawn. The only man I would happily give my body to is you, Issei. Rias said as she began to trace her finger down his abdomen. But. Shhhh. Just relax, it's a master's duty to deepen her bonds with her servants. Rias said, kissing his forehead and placing her index finger on his lips. Rias traced her tongue down his abdomen and started to make Issei feel very funny. Rias, Issei said, something awakening inside him taking on the dominating role as he unknowingly pushed her down on his bed. Issei's inner dragon represented his primal instincts and as a result, Issei kissed Rias and began to fondle her breast. Rias blushed, feeling very shocked but also happy as she felt Issei hold an obvious attraction to her. Rias couldn't control her own desires anymore and slipped her tongue in his mouth. Issei matched her pace and allowed his own tongue entry as he grazed her thigh with his other hand. Suddenly, there was a knock on Issei's bedroom door, interrupting Rias and Issei, bringing them back to reality. Issei-san, it's time to wake up. Asia said innocently on the other side of the door. Asia? Issei-san, are you already awake? Asia, give us a few minutes, me and Issei need to get dressed. Rias said, making Asia take action. Asia suddenly opened the door in her cute pajamas. Good morning, Asia. Issei said, awkwardly realizing his current situation. Good morning, Asia. Asia? Issei said, noticing Asia's expression. I'm going to get naked too. What are you saying, Asia? I won't be outdone by the president, Asia said, removing her shirt and bottoms, pouncing into the bed. Oh, looks like I have a rival. Fine, bring it on, Asia, I'll take you on, Rias said, marking this to be a very lively and energetic morning. The three teenagers finally got dressed after their morning antics and had breakfast. Shortly after leaving for school, Rias and Asia walked to school alongside Issei, latching onto each of his arms. Hey Asia, let go, Issei's mine, Rias said, pouting at her. No, it's not fair, if only the president gets to cling to Issei-san, Asia said, refusing to let go. Now come on you two, we're all friends, right? Issei said with a smile, calming them down with his calm nature. Hey Issei, can I ask you a favor? Rias said. Sure thing, president, what do you need? Issei replied. Do you mind if I invite over the rest of our club members over to yours today for our meeting? The club room is having its annual clean. Sure, that's fine by me. I'll make some tea and snacks. Issei said back with a smile. Thank you, Issei, that would help a lot. Rias said back. As soon as the trio arrived through the school gates, they seemed to be getting quite a bit of attention. Hi, it's Haidu, Issei, a female student with pink hair, said in her kendo outfit. He's so cool, said another girl wearing the same outfit. Damn that Haidu, he's walking with two beauties, he must be blackmailing them or something, said a boy with glasses. Why is it always Issei? Said a bald student with an angry expression. Well then Issei, I will see you later. Rias said, kissing him suddenly on the cheek. I won't lose to the president, Asia said, also kissing him on the cheek. Hey, what's the big idea? Rias said to her rival. Come on Issei-san, it's time for class. Well then president, we will see you later, Asia said, grabbing Issei's arm and rushing off to the classroom. I wish I could be in the same class as Issei, Rias said, pouting as she walked to class. Issei and Asia entered their classroom, taking their seats. Once again, when Issei sat down, the two pests Mitsuda and Motohama came over to bug him. Boy, Issei, Mitsuda said, smacking Issei's desk. Issei sighed and looked up. What is it now, Mitsuda? Issei said lazily. Don't call me by my name so casually, you bastard, Mitsuda said, his friend Motohama joining him. What do you want, you two? Issei said, feeling irritated. How the hell did you get so close to third year Rias and Akeno? Are you blackmailing them in some way? Yeah, that's right, he's probably doing all sorts of dirty stuff to them. Damn, it's not fair, Mitsuda said. Well, that's what we'll soon be telling everyone around the school, Motohama said, quickly becoming shocked after he felt a pain on his cheek. Motohama turned to his left holding his cheek looking right at the person who just slapped him. Don't say such awful things about Issei-san, he's a kind and caring person, you know nothing about him, Asia said, tears streaming down her face after she slapped him. All of a sudden, Issei cried out in pain, holding his left arm, making Asia go over to him. Is it your left arm again? Asia said to the hunched over Issei. Yeah, I'm going to go see Akeno-san. Issei said, leaving the classroom. Is he okay? Kiryu said, referring to Issei. Yeah, he's fine, he just has some club activities to attend to. Asia said, keeping the student's attention whilst he snuck away. Meanwhile in the orc clubroom, Issei was now sat on the sofa with his top removed. Sorry to keep asking you to do this, Akeno-san. The power is overflowing ever since I gave my arm to Ddraig. Issei said, nervously staring at the dripping wet Akeno as she exited the shower wearing a see-through bathrobe. It's no problem at all, Issei-kun, anytime you need my help, I will happily suck out the power from your fingertips. Akeno said seductively. Your dragon arm has much more power than we could ever imagine, so I'm not surprised you could only change its shape temporarily using your magic power. So let's begin. I'm counting on you. Issei said, holding out his left hand. As soon as he did this, Akeno began salivating as she sucked on each of his fingers. Issei let out a slight moan due to how erotic Akeno was being. Once she was finished, Akeno wiped away her drool. I have removed the dragon's power. You should be alright for a while. Thank you, Akeno-san. You know, Issei-kun, during the battle you had with Razor, you were so manly and heroic when you just broke your way into the president's engagement party. Not only did you beat every single one of his servants effortlessly, you defeated the immortal high-class devil himself and saved Rias from that horrible man. After seeing such a courageous and powerful man in battle, I'm beginning to feel a little funny myself. Is this what they call love? Akeno said, staring at Issei with a lustful gaze. You were also worried about the president marrying that guy, right, Akeno-san? It's just as I thought, Akeno-san, you really are a kind and caring woman. Issei said, making Akeno blush. Oh my, if you say stuff like that to me so easily, I may just end up falling for you myself. Akeno said, tracing her finger down his muscular bicep. 2 seconds later, the bell chimed, indicating the end of the class. I will see you later, Issei-kun. Akeno said with a smile as she returned to the bathroom to get changed. After another hectic day of school, the Gremory peerage all gathered at Issei's residence to commence their meeting. Then let's begin our regular meeting. Rias said as Issei came through the door. Here you go, guys, before we begin I've prepared some tea and some snacks. Issei said, bringing in a tray of snacks and some tea. Thank you, Issei, now let's begin. This month we've had 11 contracts by Akeno. Yes. 10 by Kaneko. Yes. 8 by Yudo. Yes. 3 by Asia. You're doing great, Asia, for a beginner devil. Kiba said, making her smile. Thank you very much. And for Issei, 15. Rias said with a smile, proud of her pawn. It's the least I could do to keep up the reputation of the Gremory family name. Issei said with a smile. That's amazing, Issei-san. Why am I not bad at all? Akeno said. That's very impressive, Issei-kun, I'm going to have to work harder as the only other man in this peerage. Kiba said, placing his hand on Issei's shoulder. Issei-senpai also makes very delicious snacks. Kaneko said, eating one of Issei's takoyaki snacks. What are you doing, Akeno? Issei said to the black-haired girl as she went near Issei's bookshelf. Oh my, I found something interesting, President. Akeno said, showing 3 colored photo albums. Huh? Issei said, feeling embarrassed. I see, well, as Issei's master and as his comrades, it's our duty to learn about his history. Rias said with a huge blush as she began looking inside the photo album. It's Issei when he was 5 years old, he has such a cute bottom, Rias said, staring at a picture of Issei. His back was to the camera and he was drinking from a milk bottle. Why my, he's stark naked. Akeno said, looking at the same photo album as Rias. Geez, this is so embarrassing. Issei said, drinking his tea. Little Issei, Rias said with enthusiasm. I understand how you feel, President. Asia said, seeing the photo as well. Asia, you understand? I'm so happy. Rias said as she continued to browse through the book. You must have really loved your parents, Issei. Kiba said, looking in the blue photo album. Yeah, I really did. Speaking of which, did you live with your parents, Kiba? Issei said, but Kiba was transfixed on a picture. Hey Issei-kun, about this picture. Kiba said, pointing to a certain picture. Which one? Oh, this one. Yeah, that's a picture of me and my childhood friend Irina. We used to play together a lot, but she and her family moved out of the country and I haven't seen her since. Issei said, feeling nostalgic. Do you remember this sword? Kiba said, pointing at the sword behind them both. Now that you mention it, I'm pretty sure it's a holy sword. Issei said. It's just as I thought. Thank you, Issei-kun. Kiba said, handing Issei back the book. All of a sudden, a magic circle appeared by Rias Gremory's ear. Yes, what's wrong? Yes. Yes. I understand. Everyone, let's move out, there is a stray devil on the loose and we've been asked to take care of it. Yes, President. Issei said, standing up. Kiba. Hey Kiba. Issei said, trying to get the knight's attention as he stared blankly into space. Ah, sorry Issei-kun, let's go. Kiba said as he too stood up. Then everyone, let's get going. Rias said, creating a massive magic circle. In an instant, Rias and her servants had appeared outside of a huge abandoned building. Is this really the place? Asia said, unable to sense anything. Yes, without a doubt there is a stray devil in there. Issei said, activating his boosted gear. Okay, here's the plan, Asia, I and Akeno will wait outside while Issei, Kaneko and Yudo go inside and lure it outside. It's very dangerous, so be careful. Rias said, being cautious. I got it, President. Let's go Kiba, Kaneko-chan, Issei said, walking towards the door. Yudo. Rias said, noticing Kiba was spacing out. Ah yes, I understand, President. Kiba replied, walking towards the entrance with him. Kaneko made the first step, punching the steel door off its hinges and knocking them onto the floor. As dynamic as always. Issei said, laughing as Kaneko smashed through the doors. Let's go. Right. It's empty, are you sure there is a stray devil in here? Kiba said, unable to sense anything due to his current mood. Yes, definitely, don't drop your guard, it's in here. Issei said, boosting his power. It's here, Kaneko said. Seconds later, a frail girl appeared from the shadows, suddenly growing fangs, the body of a spider and a huge horn on her forehead. Yudo-senpai, please. Yudo-senpai. Kaneko said to Kiba, who was spacing out again. Kaneko-chan, look out, Issei said, picking up Kaneko and leaping away from the acidic projectile which burned through the floor. Thank you, Issei-senpai. Kaneko said with a blush. It's okay, we're friends, right? Dragon shot, Issei said, shooting out his crimson blast. The blast connected and damaged the stray devil. Unfortunately, Issei's sacred gear didn't have enough power accumulated to take down this particular stray devil yet. Looks like I need more time. Issei said, guarding with his gauntlet once the devil attacked again. Issei-senpai, are you okay? Kaneko said, worried after Issei was directly hit. I'm fine, let's do this. Hey Prince Charming, are you just going to stand there? Issei said, talking to the knight who was standing in place. Ah sorry, Kiba said, leaping into the air, and then he cut it clean in two. Unfortunately, Kiba tripped over a pipe on the ground and the stray devil was charging for him now. Kiba, look out you bastard, Issei said, dashing to Kiba's aid. Issei made it in time, unleashing a successful strong uppercut to the stray devil, making it go flying. Kaneko-chan, she's coming towards you, Issei said. Roger. Fly, Kaneko said as her fist connected with the airborne stray devil, making it ascend with great speed, smashing through the glass ceiling. Akeno. Yes, President. Akeno said, creating a colossal thunderbolt strike, frying the stray devil on impact. You have abandoned your master and carried on your selfish desires. You really are beyond saving. In the name of the Gremory household, I will destroy you, Rias said, creating a huge crimson magic circle, shooting out two shadow-like dragons, expanding the magic circle and annihilating the stray devil. Kaneko-chan, are you injured? Issei asked, worried for his teammate's health. Yes, I'm okay, Issei-senpai, how about you? Kaneko asked, expressing the same concern. No problems here. Issei said with a smile, showing no damage to his gauntlet arm. As soon as Kiba exited the building, he found himself struck by the Crimson Princess. Did that wake you up a bit? If it wasn't for Issei, you could have died. I'm sorry, today is not my day. What's wrong? I've never seen you like this before. I have to go, please excuse me. Kiba said, bowing and then making his way to the exit. Udo. Rias said, worried about her knight. Kiba, what's wrong, you're acting strange. Issei said, worried for his friend. I just haven't been able to get that picture out of my mind since I saw it. It was a reminder to me what I live for. Kiba said with a serious stare. I know that look all too well, Kiba. I too used to have that stare when I thought about my purpose for living. It's a look of vengeance. But we're friends, right? So we have to work together for our president and we can help you along the way, Issei said. You really are an interesting person, Issei-kun, to be able to tell what my purpose for living is just by looking at my face. Yes, that's true, I live for vengeance, the destruction of the holy sword Excalibur, Kiba said, eyes filled with rage. Kiba left and Rias came behind Issei. I guess it's time I tell you about Kiba's past. Issei, let's go home. Rias said. Chapter 11, Brave Saints arrive. The rain began to hammer down outside the Haidu residence shortly after Rias, Asia and Issei made it home safely. The weather matched the gloomy mood inside of the house as the Crimson Princess began to inform her newest servants of the tragic and horrifying past of Kiba Udo. The three devils were currently in Issei's bedroom. Rias was sitting in Issei's desk chair, whereas Asia and Issei were sitting on his bed waiting patiently for their king to give them the whole story. Rias looked down towards the ground as she began to speak, the expression clearly showing the pain she felt for Kiba. Issei, I trust you know how dangerous holy swords are to us devils. Rias asked the young devil. Yes. Being cut by one could mean life or death for our kind. Just one slash is capable of obliterating us. Issei replied, listening intently. That's right. Only a select few are able to wield a holy sword. It was because of this reason that the church conducted an experiment known as the Holy Sword Project, a scheme they plotted to try make their own artificial being, who could use Excalibur, one of the most powerful holy swords in history, and one of our kind's greatest threats. Rias said, causing Issei and Asia to gasp. I never heard of that project while I was in the church, Asia chimed in, showing her confusion. That's not surprising. After all, this experiment was many years ago, and it was a complete failure. So they covered it up to hide the countless lives they took. Issei, finally connecting the dots, stood up immediately from his bed. President, don't tell me Kiba was one of the victims of the church's project. Issei said, feeling shocked and horrified. Yes, it's just as you believe, Issei. Yudo is known to be the only survivor of the Holy Sword experiment. Rias said back with a sad expression. Kiba-san. No way, that's horrible. Asia said, covering her eyes as tears began to form. President, Kiba started acting strange after he saw this picture of me and my childhood friend. I know it's a holy sword, but I'm quite sure it's not Excalibur. Issei said, removing the blue photo album from his bookshelf, placing it on his desk for the others to view. I see, it definitely is a holy sword, but you're right, it's not as powerful as Excalibur. I can't believe there was a holy sword close to you all this time, Issei-san. Asia said in a surprised tone. Yeah, I didn't notice it myself until I visited the church for my parents' funeral. I felt its holy aura from outside the church itself. Issei said, feeling shivery from the memory of both its feeling and his parents' funeral. I see, then we best be on our guard. I have a feeling something terrible may happen. Rias said, muttering that last line. President. Issei said, snapping Rias out of her trance. Ah, I'm sorry. It's getting late, we should get some sleep. Rias said as she began to strip off her clothes. President Rias, what are you doing? Issei said, suddenly becoming confused and embarrassed. What do you mean? You know that I can't sleep with clothes on, right? Rias said, stripping down to her underwear. Yes, I remember you telling me, but your room is across the hall. Issei said, covering his eyes. Isn't it obvious? I want to sleep with my cute Issei. Rias said, removing her bra, releasing her boobs. President, I don't think. Issei said, unable to finish his sentence as Rias pulled him onto the bed with her. It's not fair, I'm going to sleep with Issei-san too, then Asia said, stripping off her own clothes. Rias grabbed one of Issei's arms, lightly chomping on his ear afterwards. Issei let out a slight moan, unable to resist from his master's hexy charms. Asia suddenly pounced and latched onto Issei's other arm, showing Rias that she wasn't going to back down. Asia, why don't you leave Issei to me tonight? I want to get especially close to my strong pawn. Rias said, moving Issei's hand onto her breast. I refuse, I also want to get close to Issei-san, Asia said, making Issei grab her still developing chest as well. Both of you two please calm down. Issei said, starting to panic from the sudden intense stimulation. Just lay back and relax, Issei, your master is going to make you feel very good. Rias said, rubbing her hand up his right thigh. Issei-san, please look over this way as well. Asia said, grabbing onto Issei's arm and placing it in between her boobs. President, what are you? Once again Issei was cut off when Rias licked his neck and whispered into his ear. We're at home right now, so please relax and call me Rias. She said, seductively pushing her hand underneath his t-shirt. I got it, Rias, so let's please get some sleep. Issei said in a panic, suddenly placing his arms around both of them and embraced them warmly into his chest. To Issei's relief, this seemed to satisfy the lust of the two girls as they were both comfortable on his chest. Meanwhile, whilst a battle occurred between Issei and the two girls, another battle was occurring inside of the Gremory Knight's mind as he walked the wet and dark streets alone. Forgive me, Issei-kun, but I'm not supposed to enjoy being with friends. I'm not worthy of having such a privilege after I let all of them die back there. Kiba thought to himself as he pondered through the streets. Hey there, it's my lucky night, I've been meaning to slice up one of you shitty devils after that bastard attacked me the other night, a sinister voice said from the shadows. The priest. Who the hell are you? Kiba said, not in the mood for such nonsense. Nice to meet you, Prince Charming, I'm Friedzel's, an expert exorcist of all you shitty devils, the priest said, cackling maniacally now. I can't hold back my tears of finding such a lucky catch tonight, Fried said, unsheathing a golden sword. I'm sorry, but I don't have any time for jokes right now. Kiba said, materializing a crimson magic circle, bringing out his own blade. Well, that's good news, I was just getting bored of killing priests, so it will be fun to slaughter someone who can entertain me more, Fried said, revealing the golden aura of his sword. That glow. That aura. Don't tell me that's. Kiba said with both fear and anger. Oh, not bad, shitty prince cum bag devil, that's correct, perfect. I'd like to test out this amusing toy on a much more fitting target, let's see which is better. Your shitty piece of crap devil sword or my all-powerful holy sword Excalibur, Freed said, making Kiba grit his teeth. Freed launched an attack straight away, causing Kiba to react and block its severe aura. A crash of thunder clapping in the sky, making it seem like it was a result of the clash. Oh, it seems like your pretty face is going to get messed up, shitty devil, it's almost like you're the most fitting to become prey to Excalibur. Shut your hole, Kiba said, pushing back with all his strength, causing Freed to step back. That's a dirty mouth for such a pretty face. Holy eraser, Kiba shouted, causing several black magical binders to unleash from his blade and wrap around Freed's deadly weapon. Yeah, that's not going to work. Sorry, Freed said, as soon as the bright aura made the binders vanish. I was just testing your sword. I had to see if it was real. Now I won't hesitate to destroy both you and that sword, Kiba said, charging Freed. Kiba entered into Freed's personal space and began hacking at his holy blade, trying to break its divine defense. Ah, Kiba said, feeling damaged as soon as the Excalibur managed to graze against his arm, causing Kiba to collapse to his knees, holding his wounded arm. Did I forget to tell you? This sword was made especially for killing you shitty devils. As if I could ever forget that, Kiba said, kicking Freed right where it hurts, making him fall onto his behind. You cheater. What do you expect? I'm a shitty devil, aren't I, Kiba said, jumping into the air ready to strike him again. Freed dodged the attack and then suddenly made evasive actions, jumping on top of a building near him. Looks like it's your lucky day, shitty devil, I just got a call, smell you later. Wait right there, I won't let you escape, Kiba said, trying to follow his fleeing opponent, unable to proceed any further when he was blinded by the crafty flash bomb the corrupt priest threw. Kiba stood in the rain, his clothes completely soaked through, staring blankly, the sound of the vending machine and the weather being the only thing for him to notice. I've finally found it, now I will avenge my fallen comrades, Kiba said, walking into the night and leaving the now quiet battlefield. The Crimson Princess sat bolt upright, her nightmares representing the fear that currently occurred in her mind. Rias took a few deep breaths to try calm herself down, but suddenly calmed down when she felt something warm touch her shoulder. Rias, are you alright? Issei said, offering a comforting smile. Issei? Oh yes, I'm fine, it's just, Rias said, unable to complete her sentence. You're worried about Kiba, aren't you? Issei said, to Rias' great surprise. Yes, I'm worried he's going to lose himself and become the way he used to be. Rias said as Issei listened intently. You see, when I recruited Yudo, he was on the verge of death. But after I brought him back to the club room, he was in a very aggressive and violent state. After all of the torturous experiments he and his fellow victims had to suffer with, it took so long for me to rehabilitate him. But it seems his rage towards Excalibur has begun to resurface again. Rias said, suddenly feeling startled when she felt a warm arm embrace her. You have nothing to worry about, Rias, leave Kiba to me. After all, I know what he is going through right now. I spent most of my life beginning as a devil seeking revenge. Issei? I owe this to you after all, if it wasn't for you, Rias, I would never have found another reason to live for. Please let me do this as a servant of the Gremories and to return the favor for your kindness towards me. Issei said, feeling Rias' arms wrap around his neck as she nestled her head into his chest, laying them back down on the bed again. Thank you, Issei. I don't know why, but I really feel comfortable relying on you. I'll leave Yudo to you then. Rias said, blushing as she snuggled up to the teenage boy. Yeah, leave it to me, Rias. Issei said, stroking her hair as she drifted off again. Kiba, I promise that I will help you get through this, Issei thought to himself as he too drifted back off to sleep. Morning arrived the next day in no time at all, and currently Asia and Rias were in the kitchen preparing Issei's breakfast and lunchbox. Asia, maybe Issei would like some bacon as well for breakfast. Rias said, offering a kind suggestion to the blonde-haired girl also wearing an apron. Yes, I agree, President Rias. Asia said, resuming Issei's breakfast. Meanwhile, Rias tended to Issei's lunchbox, secretly trying to hide her current state of sadness because of Yudo's sudden disappearance. After a filling breakfast, the three teenagers made their way inside the school. Yudo, where are you right now? Are you safe? I hope nothing has happened to him. Rias thought to herself, lost in thought. You damn perverts, take this, a pink-haired girl and brown-haired girl said to the two boys as they struck them with their shinai's wooden kendo swords. Mitsuda and Motohama held a look of pain as they were struck by the kendo girls. Mitsuda shortly after called out to Motohama after a female martial artist sent him flying with a power punch right towards Rias. The perverted boy's look of despair shifted to joy when he flew in the approximate direction of Rias senpai's chest. Oh no, I can't stop, Motohama said as he placed his hands out right in front of him to try grope her. All of a sudden, Motohama flew in another direction after Issei's roundhouse kick connected with Motohama's cheek, sending him off course from his desired destination. "Don't you dare try touching Rias, you perverted bastard," Issei shouted after successfully warding off the danger to his master. Rias suddenly snapped out of her trance, feeling Issei hold her by the waist. "Issei-kun is so cool," the first kendo girl said, admiring the second-year student. "How nice, I wish Issei would protect and hold me like that," the martial artist girl said, placing her hands under her cheek. "Are you okay, President?" Issei said, looking at his startled master's face. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Issei." Rias said in response to Issei protecting her. "You're very welcome, President Rias. Are you sure you don't want me to take you to the infirmary?" Issei said, expressing true concern for Rias. "No, I'm fine. Now let's go. Class is about to start," Rias said, pretending to be fine. Other than the morning's antics, nothing else lively occurred at school that day, and now Rias, Asia and Issei are walking back home. "President. So you sense it too, Issei?" Rias said, feeling the same frightening aura. "Yes. Please stay close, Asia," Issei said, walking towards his house with caution. Issei approached his front door, noticing immediately that it was already open. The Red Dragon Emperor motioned Rias to keep Asia safe and then entered into the unknown danger in his living room. All of a sudden, Issei's alert behavior went haywire when he felt that same frightening aura embrace him tightly. "It's been so long, Issei-kun, I've come back to Japan." "Irina? What are you doing here? This is quite the surprise," Issei said as she removed her arms from him. "Yeah, it's been so long, Issei-kun. By the way, where are your parents?" the brown twin-haired girl said, darkening the mood all of a sudden. "My parents? Yeah, your parents, Issei-kun, where are they? Are they on holiday?" Irina said cheerfully and innocently unaware of what was about to happen. "My parents are dead, Irina. They were murdered by a fallen angel," Issei said with a gloomy expression, remembering the painful event. "Issei-kun, I'm so sorry, I didn't know," Irina said, suddenly hugging him. "Wait a second, Issei-kun, you're not human anymore," Irina said, making Issei shocked. "What do you mean, Irina?" "Issei-kun, you've become a devil. Ah, what cruel fate the Lord has imposed upon me. I traveled back to my home country to see my childhood friend, and now he's a devil. This must be a trial passed down from the Lord himself for me to overcome," Irina said, getting very emotional and removing her mysterious cloak. Rias rushed into the room with Asia, sensing the dangerous killing intent. "Ah, I see now, so this succubus took advantage of your despair and stole you from the Lord's gentle warmth with her big boobs and bewitching smile. But don't worry, Issei-kun, I will strike her down and then make you repent for your sins," Irina said, transforming the rope on her arm into a holy sword infused with great dangerous power. Rias wasn't able to move from her spot as she tried to protect her cute bishop. "I will now cast divine punishment. Amen," Irina said, charging right towards the Crimson Princess. Clang. A huge sound resonated in the room as the sword made contact with an unknown object. "If you ever dare to lay a hand on Rias again, I won't hold back, even if it is you," Irina, Issei said aggressively as his gauntlet guarded against Irina's holy sword. "Irina, that's enough," said another robed female entering from the next room. Unlike the first intruder, Issei didn't recognize this girl at all, other than the fact she also had a holy sword bandaged on her back. The mysterious girl had dark blue hair and golden eyes. "We have more important business to attend to with the Gremory household, Irina. We will settle your personal issues later on," the girl said as she tapped Irina on the shoulder and went out of the front door. "Well then, Issei-kun, I will see you later. Come find me anytime if you ever want to repent for your sins." "Amen," Irina said, kissing her cross as she fled into the night. "Issei, are you alright?" Rias said, realizing Issei was hit by a holy sword. "Yes, no problems here, Rias. It seems that my dragon arm is unaffected by holy weapons," Issei said, only just realizing this himself as he defended against Irina's strike. "What do you think they want with us, President?" Asia said, a bit scared of the situation they were just in. "Who knows, we will have to keep our guard up and be ready for when they come back," Rias said in a serious manner. Now you two, let's go sit down, I'll make dinner for us. It's been a long day," Issei said, going to the kitchen. Meanwhile, at the leftover remains of the church, the two saints were speaking to each other. "Geez, Irina, what's your problem? We have a mission to accomplish here and you go make a fuss with the Gremory household who we still need to talk to about our mission. What were you thinking?" the blue-haired girl said as they removed their clothes near the cold water. "I couldn't help it, Zenobia. Issei-kun is my childhood friend and it was such a huge shock that I got too overexcited and couldn't stop myself. Ah, God, please forgive me for my selfish desires," Irina said, placing her hands in prayer. "Well, it doesn't matter, just let me do all the talking tomorrow and then we can complete our mission," Zenobia said, washing her arms. "Yes, I understand. But still, even though he's a devil now, Issei-kun still hasn't changed a bit," Irina said with a smile as she bathed in the light of the moon. Chapter 12, Udo returns. Issei woke up early the next morning, feeling the need to get in some morning training with the church getting dangerously close to his devil friends. Although, it was quite a task to escape from the vice grip of both his master and his friend Asia in a way that did not wake them up from their sleep. But like when most times something seemed impossible to Issei, he once again found a way to accomplish it, getting in some early training. With his morning routine now complete, he now was currently in the kitchen making breakfast for a change. Issei sighed, remembering the night before when Asia and Rias were arguing again who would get to sleep with Issei that night. Flashback. Asia, I am Issei's master, so it's by my right that I have my servant sleep next to me. Rias said, flicking her hair over her shoulder. But that's not fair, President. I started living with Issei-san first, so I should be allowed to sleep with him as well. You should stop hugging him. Asia retorted back, refusing to back down. You may have started living here first, but I met Issei first, so I refuse to lose to you, Asia, Rias said back in spite. The two girls were arguing with each other in the nude in Issei's bedroom, whilst Issei finished what was left of his homework. I may be getting started later than you have, but I also refuse to back down, President, Asia said back, feeling determined. You forget the obvious fact here, Asia. Issei fondled my breasts in the bed. He fondled mine too. We even kissed the other day before you came in. Then I will take him from you by force, President. You dare try take what's precious from your master. I just want Issei-san to dote on me as well, Asia said, suddenly hugging Issei from behind. Asia, what are you doing? Issei said, suddenly distracted from his work. Rias pulled a pouting face and then sat on Issei's lap, wrapping her arms around his neck. Hey Issei, you like my body, right? Rias said in a seductive tone, pressing her chest really close to him. As I said before, Rias, your boobs are very beautiful. Issei said with a blush. See, Asia, Issei clearly finds me more attractive. Your boobs may be bigger now, President, but I'm still growing, so I may have bigger breasts than you someday. Come on you two, let's just go to bed. We've got Irina and Zenobia showing up at the clubroom tomorrow, so I can see why you're nervous. But it's not going to help if we try to avoid the matter at hand, so let's just get some sleep. We can sleep together, alright? Issei said, placing an arm around each of them, making their anger subside. Rias and Asia smiled, hugging Issei from both sides. Issei-san is right, let's just get some sleep. Asia said, feeling warm because of Issei's touch. It's official, Issei is the only one who can make my heart beat so fast and can calm my destructive innate rage with just one sentence. Rias said, leaning up against him as well. End of flashback. Geez, those two are going to be the death of me if they keep attacking me in the nude. If they carry on being so insistent, I may let my primal instincts take over again. Issei said, secretly feeling cheerful when he remembered his kiss with Rias. I think you have something more important to worry about in terms of danger, partner. Ddraig said, a green circle appearing on Issei's left arm. What's wrong, Ddraig? Another enemy? Issei said, knowing of a few potential powerful enemies because of the warnings from cices. I don't know if you sensed it recently, partner, but I picked up an energy signature from the White One. Ddraig said, bringing Issei to attention. The vanishing dragon. I had a feeling I would have to fight him soon. Issei said, his core feeling raging hot all of a sudden. Yes, it is the fate of the Red Dragon Emperor and the White Dragon Emperor to face off for all eternity, so the time will come when you two will have to face the next White Dragon user. Ddraig said. His power is the opposite to mine, right? Divine dividing, I think it's called. That's correct, partner. I'm impressed that you looked into your rival this much. Well, of course, I owe it to you to prove to the demon world that my partner is the most powerful dragon after all. And besides, I have to do everything I can to protect my master and my friends. Issei said whilst he prepared the rice and tea. Don't worry, partner, you're not alone. I will help you take on the White Dragon. Thanks, Ddraig. Any idea who the possessor of the sacred gear is? Unfortunately, partner, so stay on your guard. Ddraig said. I got it, Ddraig, I'll be careful, thanks. Desu. A voice said, holding their hands over Issei's eyes. Well, judging from your beautiful fragrance and soft hair, I would have to say. Rias. Correct, Rias said, wrapping her arms around his waist from behind. Rias. You're so mean, you know that. You left before I woke up and deprived me of my cute and handsome dragon body pillow. Rias said, nesting her head into his broad back. My apologies, Rias, I decided to get in some early morning training, so I'm ready to protect you and the rest of the Gremory household when the time comes. Issei said whilst he fried the eggs. Impressive, just as I expected from my strongest pawn. But don't overdo it, okay? Rias said, resting comfortably on his back. But I'm your only pawn, Rias. Issei said, inquiring to her previous statement. That's exactly my point. Rias said, now letting go of him. Now I'm going to get started on lunches. Rias said, approaching the other side of the kitchen. Good morning, President, Issei-san. Don't worry, I'm just finishing up your lunch now, Issei-san. Asia said, making Rias frown. Hey Asia, I was going to make Issei his lunch today. Rias said, getting the ingredients she needed. It's fine, you two, I'm a dragon, so I have a very healthy appetite. I'll gladly eat both of your delicious lunchboxes, so don't fight, okay? Yes, Issei-san. Asia said, smiling, washing the cutlery she used to make the lunch. Thank you, Issei. You really are manly in many ways, even when it comes to solving problems. Rias said, winking at him, and returned to her breakfast. Issei smiled back towards Rias and suddenly lost himself in a trance. Issei stared right at Rias, unable to shift his gaze from her, as he began to realize how fortunate his life was going for him now. Just months ago, he was by himself. A lone wolf who only lived for revenge and nothing more. And now here he was surrounded by people who care about him and a woman he desired nothing more than to treasure and protect, which could be mistook of a dragon's nature to hoard and possess every fancy trinket they find. However, Issei deep down knew that this wasn't the case at all. He could not avoid the truth that lay right in front of him. Issei held a strong attraction towards the Crimson Princess, but this wasn't one of admiration anymore. It had developed into something more personal and warm. Issei realized it after the arrival of Razor Phoenix and the training with her older brother. Issei was in love with this woman. Just as Issei began to think about his feelings for Rias, Issei was reminded of two hesitations why he held himself back near his master. The first reason being that she is not only a high-class devil far outranking him, she is also the demon lord's little sister and a mere low-class servant, obviously had no right to be with someone of such high elegance and beauty. It was at that point that those words from Cices ran through his mind. You've passed the test. I'm leaving my little sister to you. Please protect her. But there was another reason why Issei can't pursue a relationship with Rias. He feared that all those he came to love and become close to are taken from him in the most brutal and tragic way. This thought referred to his parents dead on the floor in front of him. No, I won't let that happen again, White Dragon, fallen angels, even God himself, I won't let any of them hurt her. I'll get stronger and crush them all, Issei thought to himself to counter the negative images. Issei-san. Issei-san. Asia said, snapping Issei out of his blank stare into space. Ah, sorry Asia. It's nothing. Let's get ready for school. Issei said, grabbing his school bag. Asia, Issei and Rias left the house, but like Issei, the heir of the Gremory clan herself was lost in thought. Rias had a dream that morning that she decided to keep to herself. It wasn't a nightmare or anything, but it definitely made an effect on her mind. Flashback. Rias opened her eyes and she found herself in the Gremory household's dining hall, realizing that she must have been spacing out at the huge table. The Crimson Princess looked around and found out that she was not alone at the table. Her family was also in this room with her. Her brother, her mother and her father were also present. Rias, how is school going for you? Lord Gremory said. Huh? Oh yes, school is going quite well at the moment, father, no problems to report. Rias said, taking a sip of her tea. And how is your new servant? What was his name? Hi to Issei. Lord Gremory said, making Rias blush. He's doing very well, father. He exceeds every one of my expectations. He was well worth all of my pawn evil pieces. Rias said, taking another sip to hide her blush. Excellent. Glad to see that all is going well. Lord Gremory said back. That reminds me, Rias, your next potential marriage partner has been decided. Lord Gremory said, making Rias stand up immediately. Father, that won't be necessary, I've already said that I will marry when I meet someone I choose to marry. Rias said in a fluster. Rias, calm down please. Your father has learned from his mistakes and has taken advice from your brother for your ideal companion. Venelana Gremory said, assuming her role as the mother. Big brother did. Rias said, looking towards the entrance to the dining hall as the doors began to open. Rias dropped her china mug when she saw who walked through the doors. Issei. Rias blushed and froze in place as soon as Issei approached her father. Well then, hi to Issei. I leave my daughter to you. Lord Gremory said to Issei. Sure thing, sir. You can leave her to me. Issei said, smiling towards Rias. End of flashback. President. Issei said, bringing Rias back to reality. I'm sorry, I was just lost in thought. So anyway, when the church saints come to the clubroom today, leave all the talking to me. We don't want any problems to start between us and the church. I understand, President Rias. Issei and Asia replied together, setting Rias at ease. When the sun began to set and the sky was tainted amber, Rias had now gathered all of her servants were gathered together in the clubroom, waiting for the arrival of the saints. Hey everyone, Issei said, walking through the doors of the clubroom. Issei-kun, how is your arm today? Akeno said, placing a cup of tea down by him. It's fine, thank you, Akeno. No problems today. Issei said back. That's a shame. Well, make sure you come to me if you ever need any more service from me, Issei-kun. Akeno said, seductively biting Issei's ear. After Issei was teased by Akeno, the rest of the club members could feel a huge destructive force in the room. Akeno. Don't you think we have more important things to be doing right now? Rias said with a menacing aura around her. I'm sorry, I was just making sure my junior was healthy and okay, President. Akeno said, enjoying teasing Rias again. They're getting too close to him. Rias said, still grumpy. President. They're here. Issei said with his eyes on the door. All eyes were now on the door as the two robed swordsmen walked inside the clubroom. Welcome to the Occult Research Club room. Rias said, sitting at her desk chair. We appreciate your cooperation. I am Zenobia. I'm Shido Arena. For what reason would servants of God desire to meet a devil? Although it is yet to be found, the 6 remaining Excaliburs have been kept by 3 divisions of the church. 3 of those have been stolen by fallen angels. Shido Arena said. The ones that we have are this, the Holy Sword of Destruction, Excalibur Destruction. And you know all about my Holy Sword of Mimicry, Excalibur Mimic. You know it's the one I used to try cut you down the other day. Yes, I am well aware of that. Now please explain to us what this has to do with us. Rias said, starting to show signs of irritation. This problem is between us and the fallen angels. We can't afford to deal with the devils of the city. Well, aren't you condescending? You thought we would side with the fallen angels to do something to the holy swords. We are well aware of how much you devils despise the holy swords. Therefore you're in the same position as the fallen angels we have been instructed to deal with. Rias Gremory's eyes began to shift to their destructive crimson red. Don't you dare say that about the president. Issei-senpai, don't do this. Kaneko said, trying to hold him back. If we must, we will completely destroy you, even if you are the sister of a Satan. Zenobia said, causing Issei to activate his boosted gear. If you know that much about me, I will never side with a fallen angel. In the name of the Gremories, I swear I will never do anything to humiliate the Satans. I am glad to hear that. That was just what our headquarters were after. I am sure the sister of a Satan would not be so foolish. Zenobia said, making Issei grit his teeth. Then you must know that I won't side with you and your god, correct? Of course. We would like you to simply pledge you won't intervene in our battle against the heathens. Understood. Rias said, smiling, thankful this was finally coming to an end. Well then, thank you for your time. Zenobia said, getting up. Won't you stay for some tea? Rias offered kindly. I am sorry, but we cannot befriend devils. We shall take our leave now. Zenobia said, suddenly looking towards the timid blonde holding onto Issei's arm. To think of it, I've been wondering this since I visited Haidu Issei's house. Are you Asia Argento? Zenobia said, making Asia surprised. Why yes. I never thought I'd see a witch here. Zenobia said, making Asia have a gloomy expression. Oh yeah, that's right, you're that ex-nun who became a witch. I heard that you were exiled because you could even heal devils and fallen angels, but I never knew you would sin further by becoming a devil, Irina said, making Asia quiver and making Issei's inner rage boil. Boy, that's enough. Issei said, trying to stop him bullying her. To think that a saint has become a devil. Nobody's perfect, I suppose. Zenobia said, making Asia shed tears. I told you that's enough, you're really starting to make Asia uncomfortable, Issei said, making a dragon-like aura begin to surface. Do you still believe in our god witch? Zenobia said. Yes. Even though I have become a devil and even though I was made to suffer. I can't seem to let it go. I believed in him all my life. I see, then let me kill you now. Whatever sins you have committed, God will always forgive you. I will punish you in the name of God, Zenobia said, revealing her weapon from the bandage case it was sealed and bringing it down upon Asia. Asia screamed and curled into a ball, as judgment seemed to be being dealt upon her right now. Boy. I said that's enough, Issei said, now pushing back the Excalibur of Destruction using his gauntlet. The devil can withstand a blow from the mighty holy sword Excalibur. Impossible, Zenobia said, trying to release the sword from Issei's colossal grip. Issei. You mustn't. What the hell do you know of Asia? When one of your so-called believers of God tried to harm her and defile her, Asia was always alone, all she wanted was somebody to help her and be friends with her. What's so wrong with that? Issei said, pushing back Zenobia away from the blonde frightened girl. Issei-san. And what was that you called her a witch? I believe it's a term fit for her state. Zenobia said back blankly. Don't buck with me, first of all you come in here and insult my master accusing her of treachery towards you. And then you go labeling Asia. You were the ones who started calling her a saint in the first place, and what did you do for her? You threw her out just because you were not capable of understanding Asia's kindness to all who she comes across. All a saint needs is God's love. Those who try to seek out for friends or even love are not worthy of sainthood. Screw faith and screw God. If an all-loving deity wouldn't help Asia when she was suffering alone and also let 2 of his children try to kill her, then I will unleash all of my power to protect her, and if I have to, defeat God himself with my bare hands, Issei said, getting right in Zenobia's face. I knew it, Issei has now been corrupted by the ruined princess. I must take her down now for the sin of corrupting my childhood friend, Amen, Irina said, removing her cloak and transforming her Excalibur mimic to a katana. I told you before, Irina, that if you ever try to hurt Rias again, that I won't hold back, Issei said, trying to punch her. Irina did a backflip and landed at Zenovia's side. Can I assume that is a challenge to the church? Zenovia said. You can think whatever you like, but just know that I won't let anybody take what's important to me, Issei said, pointing his fist at them. Rias, Akeno, Kaneko and Asia were smiling at Issei after he made such a strong declaration. What a bold statement from such a feeble devil. Bring it on, Zenovia said, pointing her sword at him. Very well. I will be your opponent. A devil said, who was now leaning up against the doors. Who are you? Zenovia replied. Your senior. Kiba said, looking towards the blue-haired swordsman. All members of the house made their way outside, along with the two holy swordsmen. Well then, let us begin. Zenovia said. Zenovia and Irina removed their holy gowns and equipped their Excaliburs. Is this really okay, Rias? Akeno said. This is not a declaration of war. It's just a simple unofficial sparring match. It's just as she said, we'll do our best not to kill you. Zenovia said, pointing her sword at Kiba. You're laughing? Yeah, because I finally found what I've been dying to destroy. Kiba said, making several swords shoot out from the ground. Sword birth. I remember now. It was said that one subject from the holy sword experiments escaped disposal. Zenovia said back. Yeah, and I'll make sure you regret the fact I escaped that death trap when I destroy Excalibur once and for all, Kiba said, grabbing a sword from the ground. I do, Issei-kun, I can't believe my old friend became a devil during our years apart. Is destiny toying with us to cause such tragedy? I finally became compatible with a holy sword and even flew over the sea, thinking that I could be of use. Is this another of the Lord's trials? Although, overcoming this will bring me one step closer to him, Irina preached, making Issei alert. I don't regret becoming a devil, not one bit. Because of this power, I was both able to avenge and move on with my life after my parents' death, Issei said, his gauntlet shining. Come, Issei-kun. Let me use my Excalibur to punish you for your sins, amen, Irina said, charging Issei. I will punish those who threaten the lives of my friends, Issei said, getting into a fighting stance as the saint charged him. Chapter 13, The Gremories vs the Saints. I will strike you down, Haidu, Issei-kun, amen, the twin-tailed girl said as she sprung from her spot. Clang. A huge sound resonated throughout the area as the energetic swordsman laid down her first strike. To Irina's disappointment, her attack had been blocked by Issei's red dragon gauntlet. Not bad, Irina, but you're too slow, Issei said, sending a sidekick to the holy girl. Boost, 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 boost. Irina flipped backwards, dodging the counter-attack, and as a result vaulted away from the red dragon emperor. I'm just getting warmed up, behold the true power of Excalibur, mimic, amen. Irina dashed towards Issei again as soon as she landed and brought down her sword again. Issei was bombarded by the deadly sword-slash combo. However, Issei could easily read Irina's fighting pattern and took evasive action, dodging all of the saint's eviscerating strikes. That's not fair, you're not supposed to be this strong, Haidu, Issei-kun, Irina whined, transforming her sword back into a silly piece of string. Issei was startled by the surprise maneuver, leading him to believe she had given up. Not expecting the surprise strike, only able to guard with his other arm when the string once again transformed into the extinction blade which struck his naked arm. Issei screamed, panicking after Issei suffered a direct hit by Irina's deadly sword. No need to panic, President, I have ways of dealing with holy weapons. Issei said, showing no signs of being in pain. How is that possible? You have two sacred gears. Irina said, realizing she hit another gauntlet. Not exactly, my balance break is a whole suit of dragon armor, and I just simply materialized my armor on my other arm to block your attack. Issei said, pushing back Irina's sword strike. This is indeed a huge trial set by the Lord, but I'm not ready to give up just yet. A sinful devil has no chance against the children of God, amen, Irina said as she recovered from the attack. Is that all you've got, senior? Zenovia said, stabbing the sword into the ground in an attempt to intimidate the enraged devil with her crater she just created. I don't care if that sword breaks every bone in my body, I will destroy it, Holy Eraser, Kiba said, putting all of his demonic power into his sword, trying to bind Zenovia's colossal blade. Naive, Zenovia said, doing the unexpected and used Kiba's attack to pull him towards her. You're too weak, the sapphire-haired woman said, now elbowing him in the ribs. Give up before I accidentally kill you, there's a reason this sword is called the Excalibur of Destruction, you know. Zenovia said, slamming the sword down onto the motionless prince. Kiba rolled to the side and then launched from the ground away from the massive crater that the Sapphire Saint created. If you think my resolve is so weak that I would kneel before Excalibur, you've made a huge mistake, Kiba said, using his sword birth to materialize more swords. But the field of swords in front of him, Kiba armed himself with his fire and ice blade combination and charged straight towards Zenovia. Burn to ashes and be frozen solid, Kiba said, slicing with his swords as he traveled the path in front of him. Weak Zenobia said, smashing the swords with ease, and then proceeded to counter with a kick to his unguarded chin. Issei retreated from his current battle and caught Kiba before he hit the nearby tree. I don't need your help, Kiba said, aggressively shoving Issei aside, arming himself again with another sword and blindly charged at the superior Excalibur wielder. Irina breathed heavily and regained her composure. Boost 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 boost. You know, Issei-kun, it's not too late for you to let me kill you and rid you of this horrible life that woman has tricked you to lead. God forgives all sinners so you can reunite with your parents and be happy again. Irina said, still trying to preach to Issei. When my parents died, I cared about nothing more than to find their killer and make sure they got what they deserved. I chose this life so I could gain the power to avenge them. But when I finally reached my goal, I had nothing. I no longer had a reason to live anymore and I was fully prepared to take my own life. But then I met her. I met Rias Gremory, my master, who spared me from a life of sadness and solitude. She took me in and showed another way for me to live my life. If it wasn't for Rias, I wouldn't be happy here right now. So I will happily fight for her when she is deemed something as horrible as a succubus, Issei said, infuriated with what Irina said. It's time to take this up a notch, let's do it, Ddraig. Explosion. Here I come, Irina, Issei said, now darting towards Irina. Irina was startled by Issei's sudden increase in speed, missing him when she tried to strike him down. He has gotten faster. And his magic power has increased even further. Irina, be careful, his sacred gear is known to multiply his strength with every second that goes by, Zenobia said, being well informed by the higher-ups. Geez, just let the love of God pierce you, Issei-kun, Irina said after she once again was unable to land a hit on the Red Dragon Emperor. Take this, the flames of purgatory, Issei said, breathing out a huge mass of scorching flames. Irina retreated backwards, dodging Issei's inferno wall strike. However, she was unable to block against Issei when he emerged from the towering flames and tackled her head-on. Issei disarmed Irina after he unleashed a mighty short combo on her. First thing Issei did was punch Irina's blade with his dragon-skilled arm and sent it flying from its wielder's hands. With Irina shocked and off guard, Issei then tackled her to the ground and smashed his fist into the ground right next to her head. Looks like I win this battle. Irina. Issei said, seeing that his opponent was no longer on the same page as him. Ah, this is the fiendish ways of the devil. Taking an unarmed girl to the ground and having his worldly desires fulfilled with her. Oh, the world is full of many painful trials. God, please forgive this holy girl for her lack of strength to smite the sinners. But please don't forgive this pervert, Irina said with a pink face as she stared upwards towards Issei. Issei got up instantly in a panic. It's a misunderstanding, I just wanted to make you lose your will to fight against me and I figured this way I wouldn't hurt you too badly. Issei said, moving his hands quickly in a dismissive gesture. Oh my, Issei-kun really is dominating. I think I may enjoy that though. Akeno said, licking her lips. It's a misunderstanding. Issei, even though you have me, you still do this sort of thing with other women. Rias said, getting over paranoid of the situation all of a sudden. Issei sighed and averted his attention to the battle still going on. Zenobia and Kiba were currently locking horns with one another as their swords collided off each other. I'm not done yet, Kiba yelled, arming himself once again. However, this time his creation was a little different from his usual weaponry. Kiba chose a different tactic and materialized his most heavy and tall sword. My demonic sword versus your holy sword. Let's see which is more powerful, Kiba yelled, charging towards Zenobia. You never learn, Zenobia said in a bored tone. Kiba aimed his golden sword straight towards Zenobia's head. Unfortunately, Zenobia ducked in time and rammed the sharp axe side of her sword into Kiba's stomach. Kiba displayed an expression of despair and shock as he coughed out blood. You're certainly commendable with your speed and agility. However, you are nowhere near suited to wield a heavy blade. In fact, your speed decreases greatly when you wield one. You're better off making swords than using one yourself. Wait. I said wait. I acknowledge your other servant, Miss Gremory. He is clearly powerful and beat Irina fair and square. But my duel with your knight should clearly be sufficient evidence to not get involved with our mission, right? Zenobia said, putting her robe back on. Yes, and I thank you for not finishing off any of my servants with your holy sword. Then we will be counting on you not getting involved in our mission any further. There is one thing I would like to know. Have you found any leads to which fallen angel stole the holy swords from the church? Rias said to the saint as she sheathed her sword. The leader of the Gregory, Cacabiel, was directly involved. The Gregory? Cacabiel. And you plan to face him alone? Issei said, suddenly startling all of the spectators. How do you know about Cacabiel, Red Dragon Emperor? Zenobia said, not expecting a reaction from him. I have fought with so many fallen angels since I became a devil and I know how powerful Cacabiel is. Are you trying to get yourself killed? Issei said, making Zenobia reminisce something. The higher-ups did mention to us that there was a devil going around using his powers to personally wipe out fallen angels. So you're not just the legendary Red Dragon Emperor, you're also the Dark Assassin Nightwing. I'm not too keen on the name. But yes, so believe me when I say this, you stand no chance against Cacabiel. Issei said with a serious expression. As servants of God, we would rather destroy the holy swords than let them stay in the hands of fallen angels. Even if that means we have to throw our lives away to achieve this. Zenobia said, walking over to Irina, who also sheathed her mimicry weapon. We know what we are getting ourselves into, Issei-kun. One of us has already been killed. A priest who was sent to scout the arrival before we arrived was murdered. Irina chipped in. Zelzen. Freed Zelzen. A stray exorcist, he was the one who killed the priest. I saw the priest's dead body when I ran into Freed, and to make things worse, he was in possession of one of the 7 fragments of Excalibur. Freed? Don't tell me, that perverted priest who assaulted Asia. Issei said, clenching his fists. A stray exorcist. I see, so that's who did it. The information is appreciated, but we ask you, swordsman devil, that you don't meddle in our affairs hereafter. Goodbye. Zenobia said, walking away. Hold on, Zenobia, well then we'll be going now. Bye, Issei-kun. When you change your mind about me taking your life to be with the Lord, give me a call, okay? Amen, Irina said, kissing her crucifix and walking off with the other saint. Moments later, the Gremory peerage returned to the clubroom and a ruckus has erupted inside the room. Wait right there, Udo, where do you think you're going? Rias said, feeling infuriated and upset. I'm sorry, President, but I have to do this. Even if I have to leave this peerage to do it, Udo said with a sinister expression as he turned away from the president. I won't let you leave, Udo, you are my servant and my knight. You are a servant of the Gremorys and I won't allow this. Rias ordered. I'm sorry, President, but nobody can stop me right now. Not even you. Kiba said, walking towards the door. Wait a second, Kiba. Issei said, leaning up against the wall next to the door. Move aside, Issei-kun. I won't let anyone stand in my way. Kiba said, his eyes full of rage. Kiba, I know how you feel. I also gained a strong resolve to seek out vengeance, so I can sympathize with what you are going through right now. But if you plan on betraying the president who saved you, then I will not hesitate to take you down if you even have the slightest intention of trying to kill Rias. So look me in the eyes right now and promise me you will come back to Rias, Issei said, his sacred gear equipped and his fist right in front of Kiba's face. Yes. I will return once I have settled this. Kiba said, only quiet enough for Issei to hear. Issei smiled only to Kiba and stepped aside to let him leave. Kiba exited the room and slammed the door behind him. Udo. Rias said quietly with sadness tainted in her eyes. Don't worry, President. I will see to it that Kiba doesn't go down the wrong path that you so kindly diverted me from. Please leave Kiba to me. Issei said to Rias, who tried her hardest not to display weakness in front of her subordinates. So Rias did what she could just barely do in this situation. Rias looked Issei right in the eyes and said to him with a strong mind, thank you, Issei. She said, displaying happiness, but her eyes were close to leaking. Chapter 14, Enter Nightwing, Destroy Excalibur. Issei sat bolt upright, awakened from his sleep as soon as a voice came from the magic circle. Nightwing, wake up. Surziches said, gaining Issei's full attention. I'm guessing by the cheesy nickname you use that this isn't a personal call. Issei said, maneuvering his way out of Ria's warm embrace. You guessed right, Issei-kun. A matter of great danger has descended upon your town. Cacabiel. Issei said, placing the covers over Rias and then walked out of the room. Yes, that is correct. It seems that his true objective isn't the Excalibur fragments. Apparently this was only meant to aggravate Heaven to take action. Don't tell me, he means to start a war again. Issei said in a shocked tone. Unfortunately, that's correct. He aims to hurt Rias to provoke me, so I will be forced to step in and therefore cause a huge conflict between fallen angels and devils. So what are my orders, Lord Surziches? I want you to find the Excalibur wielders and cooperate with them to either retrieve or destroy the remaining Excalibur fragments. This will lessen Cacabiel as a threat. And what about Cacabiel? Your primary objective is to defeat him and let Azazel see to his punishment. But if you ever see him as a huge threat to anyone's lives, you have my permission to try to kill him. I understand, Surziches. You can count on me to keep Rias safe. I'll head out immediately. I'm counting on you, Issei-kun. Surziches said, ending the call. Issei returned to his room and sat at his personal desk. Issei wrote Rias a note and placed it on the pillow next to her head. Dear Rias, I'm going to search for Kiba so I can bring him back to you. The Gremory household isn't the same without all of us together, so I'm going to bring him back to the peerage. I won't let you be sad anymore, so I'm going to do my duty as your pawn. I'll be fine, so please don't worry about me. I'll return soon, your strongest pawn, Issei X. Issei kissed her on the forehead and then threw on a red vest and a black leather jacket and left the house. As soon as Issei shut the door, a glimpse of golden hair peered round the corner of the hallway. Ddraig. Are you awake, partner? What's wrong, partner? It's quite early. I'm sorry, I just need your help in tracking down Zenobia and Irina. Oh, the Excalibur wielders. Yeah, can you help me track them down? Of course. But surely you can track them down by sensing for the dangerous areas in the city to narrow them down. Ddraig said back. Yeah, but this is a large area, it will take some time. It's not like they'll be patrolling the streets in their white robes, Issei said, cutting himself off when he heard the chime of a bell. Please donate to the hungry children of God. Please give us your blessings. Never mind, I'm going in. Issei said, walking towards the pair. We are two stray sheep in need of food. Please give the Lord your blessing. Irina, Zenobia. Issei-kun. I do, Issei. I have something to discuss with you both, would you like some breakfast? My treat. Issei said, displaying his wallet, making their mouths salivate. Really? Thank you, Issei-kun, Irina said, getting overly excited until Zenobia halted her. Irina, calm down. We are saints and should not give off desperation to a devil. Zenobia said whilst she began to enter a nearby family restaurant following the scent. Moments later, Issei, Irina and Zenobia were all seated at a table in the large establishment. Issei experienced firsthand what it would be like watching himself eat as he watched the two saints devouring dish after dish, as if they hadn't eaten in years. It's delicious, it's so delicious, Irina. I never knew Japanese food was so good, Zenobia said, not even caring if she got rice or any other food on her face. You're right, I have missed having meals in a Japanese family restaurant for so long now, Irina said, inhaling another bowl of rice. As if on cue to their finished meals, a waitress came over with 2 more Salisbury steaks. It's true, Issei-kun is still so kind, despite becoming a devil. Ah, God, please give this kind devil your blessing and mercy. Irina said, making Issei clench his teeth in response from the sudden headache. What has this world come to? To support our faith, we have to take the help of devils. Zenobia said, hiding her face in her hood. We have sold our souls to a devil, Irina said. Now there is no need to be so dramatic. Issei said, calming them down. So what do you want with us, Red Dragon Emperor? Zenobia continued with a piercing glare. I want to help you destroy Excalibur. But I also have another objective. Issei said, trying his best to mask his rage. I can sense your rage, but it's not towards us. What is your true objective? I come here not as a devil of the Gremory household, but as a former assassin. I want to put an end to Sekiryutei. The fallen angel responsible for stealing Excalibur. That's correct. He aims to start a war against the church in the underworld. I won't allow him to succeed. I'm here to support my friend who has gone astray due to his path of vengeance. I have been there myself, so I know what he is going through. And Sekiryutei is very strong. He is a high-tiered fallen angel. So let me cooperate with you to prevent him hindering your mission. Issei said, bowing down in respect. Irina looked at Issei with a sad expression, guessing that Issei was referring to the death of his parents. I see. Certainly the power of the Red Dragon Emperor would be greatly appreciated in our quest to destroy the remaining Excaliburs. Zenobia said, feeling convinced with Issei's resolve. Hey Zenobia, are you sure about this? Irina said back to the leading saint. What he says is true. The enemy is backed by one of the leaders of the fallen angels. Frankly, with just the 2 of us trying to retrieve the remaining 3 holy swords is a suicide mission. It would be too difficult for us alone to pull it off. I understand that, but still. At best, without the Red Dragon Emperor, we have 30% of a chance we will make it out alive. Didn't we come here to take that chance for the Lord? Yeah, we were sent by our higher-ups to sacrifice ourselves, after all. But let me ask you this, Irina. Are you really ready to die yet? Zenobia said, making Irina quiver in fear. Zenobia and Irina eventually came to an understanding and decided to let Issei join in. The trio were currently walking towards the last known signal of where an Excalibur sword activated last. I had a feeling you would show up, Kiba. Issei said out of the blue, startling the saints. As expected of you, Issei-kun, even my speed as a knight isn't enough to camouflage myself against you. Kiba said, walking out of the shadows. We have no problem if you still seek to destroy the remaining holy swords, Knight of Rias Gremory. Zenobia said, walking towards him now. I see, but it's unfortunate that I am getting the approval to destroy an Excalibur from its wielders. Kiba said, taking a different tone with Zenobia. Your words are full of contempt. Is that why you left the Gremories? Zenobia said, alarming Kiba. After all, if you're astray, I can slay you right here, Zenobia said, attempting to draw her Excalibur destruction. That's one idea. Kiba said with a frustrated expression and summoned his own demonic sword. Everyone calm down, we all have the same objective in mind, so let's work together to avoid any pointless bloodshed, Issei said, getting in the way of the duel about to begin. Your hatred towards the Holy Sword Project is understandable. It is an affair that even we despise. That's why the leader of the project was deemed a heretic and was exiled. Zenobia said, grasping Kiba's attention. His name was Valper Galilei. Also known as the Genocide Archbishop. Irina said, joining in the discussion. Alper. That man killed my Kiba said with a gloomy expression. He had a stray exorcist as his assistant. Freed. It's common for exiles to work together. There's a high chance that Valper has taken a part in this incident. Zenobia said, making Kiba's attitude change. Now I no longer have reason to refuse cooperating with you. Kiba said, resheathing his blade. That settles our deal, then. We will repay you for the meal someday. Red Dragon Emperor Haidu Issei. We will meet at the church in 4 hours. Zenobia said, walking away with Irina. Leaving only Kiba and Issei left there. Issei-kun. I'd like you to take no part in this. This is my personal pursuit for vengeance, and I'd prefer not to drag you into it. I understand what you're going through, Kiba, so there is nothing you can say to change my mind. We're friends and I won't let you go astray like I almost did before Rias saved me. And I know for a fact she saved you too. Do you seriously want to make her sad by going astray and leaving the Gremories? Issei said with his hands on Kiba's shoulders. President Rias. That's right, the first time I met her was because of the Holy Sword Project. She saved me when I was left for dead after I narrowly escaped the facility, thanks to my comrades who helped me escape. I was so cold and I almost died. But then she found me and gave me a reason to live to serve by her side as her knight. I can't thank the president enough for making me part of her family. However, if it wasn't for my friends I never would have escaped the facility. That's why I need to use their grudges to power my demonic swords and destroy the Excaliburs. That's where you and me are alike. I also owe my life to Rias. And I will do anything to make her smile. So will you come back after we're done with this? Issei said, placing out his fist. Issei-kun. It's just as I thought, you truly are amazing. Now I know who my true enemy is, I'll gladly accept your help. Kiba said, colliding his fist with Issei's. And besides, I think there are at least 2 other people here who don't want you to leave, Kiba. Issei said, turning around and looking towards the trees. 2 shadows emerged from the trees. I'll also help you. A silver-haired girl said, holding on to Yudo's sleeve. Kaneko-chan. I don't want you to leave us, Yudo-senpai. Kaneko said, showing sadness in her eyes. It's my loss. Now I definitely can't go off alone with you, of all people, trying to stop me. Kiba said, patting her on the head. I'm sorry, Issei-san, I just saw you leaving in the morning and I asked Kaneko for help. I don't want you doing everything on your own either. Asia said, looking down at her shoes, about to cry. Thank you, Asia, I'm happy you worried about me. Issei said, stroking her hair, making her smile again. But why are you here, Saji? Issei said, noticing somebody else arrive. Asia seemed to be in trouble and I wanted to show her my cool side. And besides, you're a pawn just like me, so I consider you my rival. I won't let you take all of the glory, Haidu. Saji said, declaring his resolve. I got it, thanks for the help. But are you sure you're okay upsetting the chairwoman? I've been told the heir of the Citri household tends to be strict, doesn't she? Issei said, making Saji quiver and jump. I didn't think about that. But after hearing Kiba's story, how could I not help him? I help in any way I can, Saji said with enthusiasm. As promised, 4 hours later, Issei, Kiba, Asia, Kaneko and now Saji all arrived at the church. You will all have to wear these. Zenobia said, handing out black trench coats and hats. You want devils to disguise themselves as priests? Kiba said, putting on his coat. Well, I'm sure you'd rather not. Irina said in response. I will do anything to have my revenge. Kiba said, finally fastening his last button. We won't accomplish much with all of us together. Let's split up and report back to each other by phone call. Zenobia said, walking past the devils, suddenly turning to Issei. Ah, Haidu Issei. I have something to tell you since we owe you for your help. The white dragon is awake. Zenobia said, making Issei smile. I see, so it's almost time for me to face my arch-rival. Issei said with fire in his eyes. After searching the east side of the city for 30 minutes, Issei suddenly came to a stop. I'm getting chills. He's here. Issei said, blocking the sudden sword strike with his gauntlet. How you doing? The attacker said with a twisted smile as he tried to cut Issei down. Freed. Kiba said, summoning his own sword. You're not getting away this time, Freed, Kiba said, getting in a stance. Oh, if it isn't the shitty prince and the midget. Freed said, quickly changing his name for Kaneko when she glared at him. I mean the little lady. Oops, I thought I caught the catch of the day. But it turns out that it's just a bunch of shitty devils cosplaying, Freed said, jumping back from Issei's sudden kick and landing on the tall spherical structure. Let's do this, guys, I will play support in this fight. Kiba, he's all yours, Issei said, making his boosted gear glow. Boost, 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 boost. Well then, shitty devils, time to stain your blood with my Excalibur, Freed said, jumping down towards Kiba. Chapter 15, Freed attacks, time to destroy Excalibur. Kiba blocked Freed's strike and lunged straight back at him. Kiba and Freed vanished in an instant. How is that stray exorcist able to keep up with Kiba's speed? Kaneko said, noticing the clashes occurring in the sky between the two swordsmen. Excalibur rapid. It has the power to increase the wielder's speed tenfold. Unfortunately, this means Kiba has lost his advantage with his speed as a knight. And without that, this fight is going to be difficult for Kiba fighting against a holy sword if he can't avoid it easily. Issei said, getting the attention of the others there. How do you know about Excalibur's abilities, Issei-senpai? Kaneko said. Whilst I was training in the underworld with Lord Cices, I was taught all about devils, their weaknesses and their true threats. So Cices taught me all about Excalibur and its powers. Issei said, following the fight with ease. Can Udo-san win? Asia said, showing concern. Boost. Of course Kiba is a skilled swordsman and devil. Issei said with confidence. Boost. Suddenly, Fried slowed down. Oh, if it isn't the sister I tried to grape, should we continue where I left off, Asia-chan? Fried said, lunging towards the frightened blonde girl now. Don't you touch her, Fried, Issei yelled, pulling off a powerful uppercut to send him back into the air away from Asia. I told you, I'm your opponent, Kiba said, trying to slice Fried. Fried vaulted backwards after landing back on the spherical structure, and then the two swordsmen began to fight at incredible speed, again becoming a blur to the majority of the spectators. Alright, I'm powered up enough to give Kiba some power. Now if only we could slow Fried down. Haha, seems like it's now time to show off my cool side goal line, Saji said, materializing a baby dragon looking gauntlet. How do you like that? This is my sacred gear absorption line, you're mine now. Saji's sacred gear let out an ocean blue strong line and managed to ensnare Fried, binding him by the ankle. Nice, Saji, that's a dragon sacred gear like mine. It's the prison dragon Vritra. Now I can support Kiba. Issei said in admiration, leaping into the air. What is this shitty devil trick? It won't come off. This is a dragon artifact too. Fried said, hacking at the trap with all his might. Kiba, I'm leaving the rest to you, my dragon's power is in your hands, Issei said, patting Kiba on the shoulder. Transfer. Kiba took a second to absorb the power and let out a battle cry as soon as his magic power hit the maximum. Kiba smiled, feeling his power recharged. No, in fact it was made even stronger. Amazing, Issei's magic power is incredible. With this I know I can do this. Sword birth, Kiba said, being surrounded by a green aura and summoned sword after sword in an attempt to skewer the trapped priest from both sides. Damn it, Fried said, destroying sword after sword before they touched him. Sword birth, I see now. Who's there? Kiba said, on alert now. An old man wearing priest attire walked out from the shadows towards Fried. With the right wielder, that sacred gear can become the most powerful weapon there is. Fried, you're still not used to using the holy sword, are you? Oh, old man Valper, Fried said, making Kiba's anger reach its peak. The leader of the holy sword experiments, Kaneko said, punching her other gloved hand, ready to fight now. Valper Galilei, Kiba shouted. Indeed I am. Valper blankly responded, showing no signs of fear. The thing is, old man, this little lizard's tongue's got me tied up. Fried said, excusing his inability to remove it. Put the power flowing within your body into the blade, Valper said. Flowing power into the blade. Fried said, suddenly resonating perfectly with Excalibur, and finally cut his way through Saji's absorption line. Knocking Saji to the floor. Be careful, Kiba, he's figured out the way to use Excalibur's full power, Issei said, about to jump in and help. I see now, I can take advantage of my holy power and power up. Well then. How's about we stain my sword with your blood, huh? Die, Fried said, leaping into the air again. However, once Fried sliced at Kiba, he felt a different weapon when he closed in on Kiba. Zenovia, great job, Kaneko-chan, Issei said, proud of his junior's quick thinking. Hi, we got your call. Irina said, removing her own robe to reveal herself. Blasphemers, Fried Zelzin and Valper Galilei, in the name of God, I will punish you, Zenovia said, pushing back against Fried's Excalibur. Don't you ever say that buckhead's name in front of me, Fried said, quickly leaping backwards when Kiba tried a surprise attack. That's enough, Fried, your objective is to eliminate the church's spies. And besides, the odds don't seem to be in our favor. There are 2 Excalibur wielders here now. Let's retreat for now. Valper ordered. I got you, old man, Fried said, removing a suspicious small device from his jacket. This is bad, Zenovia, Kiba. He's got a flash bomb, Issei said, but it was too late. Fried and Valper disappeared in a blinding light. You won't escape, Kiba said, chasing after them along with Zenovia and Irina. Hey Kiba, wait up, Issei shouted, but due to their increased speed, it was no use in trying to pursue them. Udo-senpai. Kaneko said, feeling sad. It's okay, Kaneko-chan, Kiba will be okay. Let's just wait for him to return. After all, he promised to come back. Issei said, feeling confident. All of a sudden, Issei's mood changed to one of ease. My goodness. You're such naughty children. Good evening to you, President Rias. Issei said, fully aware this would happen. Meanwhile, Saji panicked when he saw the student council president. Chairwoman, please forgive me, Saji said in a frightened tone now. Would you kindly explain what's going on here, Issei? Rias said, staring right at him. You will explain, Saji. Sona said, showing clear signs she was pissed. Even though we pledged non-intervention to see what was going on, I had Akeno keep an eye on the two from the church. I had a feeling I sensed you, Akeno-san. Issei said, smiling towards Akeno. Saji. Why yes, Saji responded on his knees. How dare you do such a thing of your own accord? You really are a bad boy. I'm so sorry, Chairwoman, please forgive me, Saji said, kneeling even lower to beg. So Yudo has gone after this Valper? Yes, he left with Zenobia and Irina. I think they'll give us a call if anything happens. Issei said with a smile. Are you sure? With him so obsessed with his revenge, I doubt he'll even be able to think about calling us. I told you to believe in me, didn't I? Issei said, making Rias blush. Kaneko, Asia. Yes. They both replied in unison. Why are you both involved in this? I wanted to help Issei-san. I'm always being helped by him and everyone else. So for once I wanted to help bring Yudo-san back to everyone. I'm sorry. Asia said, bowing down. I don't want to lose Yudo-senpai either. Kaneko said, looking down at her shoes. I guess there's no use crying over what has already been done. But what you have done may affect the devil's world. Are you aware of that? Rias said, staring at Issei again. Yes, master. Please don't blame these two Rias. As their senpai, I take full responsibility. I'm very sorry. Issei said, bowing down to Rias. Ouch, Saji said, being struck by Sona's magically infused palm. You need to be taught a lesson, Sona said, striking him again. Chairwoman, I beg your mercy. No, you deserve 1,000 spankings, Sona said, striking him harder. President Rias, please let me take the punishment for all of the trouble I have caused you. Issei said, removing both his jacket and his vest, revealing his well-toned physique. I'll take anything you can deal out, Issei said with resolve burning in his eyes. Asking me to do it all of a sudden. It's Rias said with a huge blush, unable to stay strong any longer, seeing Issei's both manly physique and his manly attitude. Oh my. If it's too much trouble for you to handle, Rias, then I will happily deliver some punishment to Issei-kun for you. Akeno said, switching into her Maiko uniform. Akeno, what are you saying so suddenly? Rias said, getting flustered now. I'm just dealing my junior some punishment as his senior. Akeno said, getting closer to Issei. But even so, thunder damage is quite severe. President Rias, I thank you for the concern. But Akeno is right. I deserve this for going off on my own. Even though I told you what my true intentions were, I still deserve to be punished for my disobedience towards you. Issei said, approaching Akeno now. Issei, Rias said, feeling both touched and sad. So Akeno. Please, I'm counting on you. Issei said, being walking distance between her. You're very manly, Issei-kun. Then I will begin now. Akeno said, producing a golden magic circle above him. The first thunderbolt struck Issei, causing him to clench his teeth in response to the pain. Oh my, you took my magic so well, Issei-kun. How about this then? Akeno said, now firing another thunderbolt on him, upping the voltage. Geez, Akeno, your thunder attacks are quite powerful. Issei said, recovering from the next strike. Akeno licked her fingers seductively, her sadist side beginning to take over. I can't believe your body is still fine after being struck by my magic. Not a scratch to show for it. Akeno said, making another golden magic circle. This time, Issei was hit by an ice attack. And then another. Akeno, that's enough, Rias said with her eyes as glowing a deep crimson as she held onto Akeno's arm. I'm sorry, President Rias, I got a bit carried away. Akeno said, backing off. Rias rushed to Issei, who was currently kneeling down. I was worried sick about you. Rias said, hugging him. I'm sorry I worried you, Rias. Issei said, enjoying the warmth of his master. After Issei's punishment dealt by Akeno, Asia, Issei and Rias arrived home. Issei went to his room and lay down on his bed. Meanwhile, Rias and Asia came up with a scheme and whilst he napped, prepared his dinner. After they finished setting the table, they knocked on his door. Issei-san, may we come in? Asia said on the other side of the door. Of course, come in. Issei said, suddenly blushing and opening his mouth in shock when the two girls entered his room. Hi there, Issei, do you like what you see? Rias said seductively as she stood in the doorway. Issei-san, please look over here as well. Asia said with a blush as she stood in her current clothes. Issei's primal instincts began to rumble inside him when he saw Rias and Asia in the classic newly wedded wife clothes. A naked apron. Rias wore a stunning purple apron with a huge red heart on the front, which emphasized her chest and let out a sneak peek of her cute bottom, which made Issei very flustered. Asia was wearing an innocent pure white apron which made her look so adorable. Issei, dinner's ready, come down and eat. It's been a long day. Rias said, leaving the room with Asia almost giving Issei a nosebleed. After a stimulating view whilst he ate his dinner, Issei escaped to the bathroom. Geez, that was close. I almost lost to my primal desires again. Issei said as he sat down and used the shower head to wash himself. Where do you think you're running off to? A voice said as Issei felt something very soft press against his back. President Rias. Geez, I told you to call me Rias when we're alone, didn't I? Rias said, pressing her naked breasts against his back. Rias, what are you doing? Issei said, completely confused. We were interrupted last time by Grafia. But Grafia has no reason to interrupt me this time. So I'm going to take my sweet time getting to know everything about you. Rias said, now using soap to cover her boobs and rubbed against his back. Rias, you can't do this. I can't. Issei said, feeling good with Rias rubbed herself against him. Rias then kneeled in front of him and began to rub against his chest, with her chest being so close to his lips as she did so. Rias, Issei said, letting out a moan as soon as she began to trace down towards his abdomen. Rias, I can't hold back anymore, Issei said, taking her by surprise when he tackled her to the ground, supporting her head so she didn't hurt herself. Issei took Rias' breath away when he indulged her in deep pleasure when he suddenly kissed her passionately. Rias responded to Issei's feelings, kissing him back and holding his face with both her hands. Rias found herself letting go of him when Issei began to caress her soaked-up boobs with both of his hands. Issei. Amazing, Rias said, feeling ecstatic right now. Issei started to use his tongue to make Rias feel even more pleasure when he began to lick them intensely. Rias placed her hand on Issei's cheek and said in a seductive whisper. Take me, Issei, make me yours. Rias said, making Issei boost to the next stage. Rias was enjoying Issei tease her. But then a knock on the door interrupted the passionate mood. Issei-san, are you okay in there? Asia said, noticing Issei was in there a while. Yes, Asia, you can wait in my room for me. I'll be out in a second. Issei said, making Asia leave as she was unable to hear Rias in there. I'm sorry, Rias, I also want to deepen my bond with you. So let's bathe together. Issei said, climbing in the bath. Rias smiled and accepted his invitation, sitting in the bath and leaned up against his chest. Issei. What is it, Rias? Issei replied. Thank you for what you did for my peerage. I'm really grateful to have you as my pawn. Rias said, smiling as she closed her eyes to relax on his chest. It's the least I could do to pay you back for all you have done for me, Rias. You're a very special person to me, Rias. Issei said, causing Rias to get flustered. Asia will get suspicious if I exit with you. I'll teleport to my room first, so I'll meet you in your room. Rias said, trying to hide her embarrassment happiness with what Issei just said. After his bath, Issei, Rias and Asia all slept in the same bed together. And then the three devils went to school first thing the next morning. Issei slumped over his desk and retreated to his thoughts. I'm starting to become very honest through my actions. I wonder if Rias knows how I feel about her. Last night was very stimulating, but I was this close to taking it to the next level. I really want to make her mine. Issei thought to himself, receiving some glares from Mitsuda and Motohama as if they could sense what happened to him. After class, Issei entered the occult clubhouse and sensed something was wrong as soon as he entered. What's wrong, master? Issei said, sensing her worry. Issei, my familiar found something horrible. Your friend, Irina, was found with her clothes torn to shreds and her holy sword has been stolen. We suspect it was freed again. Rias said with a serious look in her eyes. Freed again? President Rias, is she alright? Issei said, both furious and worried. We were waiting for you, Issei. We're leaving now. So let's go to her now. Rias said, creating a magic circle for all of the peerage to transport in. Wait for me, Irina, I'm coming to help you now. Issei thought to himself as soon as he and everyone else there vanished in a powerful crimson light. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.